Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all you fine folks out there. What is happening this evening? Just getting this thing straightened up here. Oh yeah, it's always a lot of fun. I can see all the usual suspects are in there. What's happening, everyone? Oh, let's see. Oh, there he is. Let me see something here. Can I move that? Yeah, I sure can. All right, let's move it this way here. That's a little better, right? All right, get that out of there. Just want to make sure we're in the middle here. There we go. So what's going on, everyone? Oh, I like that effect. It's like, woo, I'm watching it now when you guys are seeing it. That's pretty funky. All right, let's put that back there for a moment. So what's going on? Renee Cruz is in there. Kyle, what's happening, Kyle? Josh D, what's up? Let me see. Let me move this around. Oops, not that way. Mimi Reactions in there. Ricardo Petrazzi, what's happening? Phil C, what's up? Oh, yeah. Enrico Viglione, what's happening? Cameron, how you doing this evening? Or depending on where you're at, how are you? Pete Ferrero's in there. What's going on? Christopher Arnold, what's happening? Reporting for duty. CJ South. Oh, no shit. Let me hold on. Okay. Martian the Second Genesis is in there. What's happening? Oh. You said, hi, Chris. I hope you are keeping well. I sent you the links to the first. Yeah, for some reason, I tried to check out the links, but it's just like it wouldn't allow me to view them. I don't know what the deal is with those. I don't know if they're in this kind of weird, funky format, or I don't know. But I clicked on them, and I seen the ones you gave me. There was quite a bit. And for some reason, I just couldn't click on it. I'm not sure what the deal is. I'll check it again to be sure, and then we'll go from there, right? So yeah, I was kind of a little puzzled by that. Tony Gibbs, what's happening? Tony Gibbs, he says, good afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are. Good to see a lot of early birds. Limey Watches in there. What's going on there, Limey? Third Eye Opens in there. Good to see you in there. I said Josh D. Elaine Millard's in there. What's going on? You said, hi, Chris and everyone. I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I've actually got my chair moved over a little bit. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I'm kind of like, so I'm kind of like seeing this screen a little bit better. I had just cleaned up the bench and, well, desk, call it what you will. I call it a bench because it's not a traditional desk where I basically get all the computer gear across here and then the towers underneath and all that other good stuff. So went through that, cleaned it all up, got rid of the dust bunnies, whatever else I had to get out of there. Yeah, it was a little overdue. Wasn't too bad, but I like it cleaner, so. Renee Cruz said, Chris, a BMT submarine sandwich. Gonna take a postal break and get me a BMT and Philly cheesesteak. Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I just had a BMT. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Christopher Arnold says, Antarctica, heads up. More ruins than people think. You're on the ball. Oh, yeah. Quite a bit. Kyle, he said, yeah, rust in peace. NASA, they suck. They're so smart, they're stupid. Yeah, that's a fact. Oh, no, they're so smart, they play us for stupid. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Limey, it's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, you can find this on the internet. It's pretty cool. But the way we're going, if we keep it up, it might just look just like that. Actually, we don't use the shuttles anymore, but you get the idea. Oops. And it's already jumped on me. I hate when it happens. Let me see. Alien Tenno, what's happening? He said, hello, Chris, and chat. It should, Kyle. You said I was trying Super Chat, but will not work for some reason. I don't know. Should. Great for all. What's happening? It says, hello. Catman Deuce says, hi, Chris. TGIF. Absolutely. It is awesome. Glenn Marsh is in there. What's going on, Glenn? Good to see you in there. Oh, that was where. Chris, where are you at? Where are you at? Oh, okay. You're trying to figure out because I didn't get quite on there yet. Let me see here. No, MG Toe, no, it's absolutely true. Because your question was, you're in the grocery business, do you see any real supply chain interruptions, or is it bull crap, right? No, it's actually not. Don't get me wrong, it's not everything in the store, right? But there are like things like crackers. I think people are like thinking like the long haul, right? It's like everything's going to be interrupted, and that's the end of that. But you know, it's good to have a little extra food. I always tell people, just have extra food. It's not about fear-mongering. It's about saying, hey, let's be prepared, right? Whether you live way out in the country somewhere and you have a bad snowstorm, what do? Knowing that that's going to happen, you usually stock up to make sure. And if you're way out there, then get enough food so you don't have to come down for maybe a week or two because you're way out there. And of course, you have a generator with plenty of gas or fuel, depending on what you're using, propane, whatever it uses. So you want to make sure absolutely that everything's working and you've got enough, food to get you through. So, but I tell people, listen, whatever you normally buy, if you got a deep freezer, throw a little extra in the freezer. You know, stock it up. I usually have 8 of each in my freezer. Like I'll have like 8 steaks, 8 chicken, pork chops, and hamburg. And then what I'll do is I'll put like extra stuff. Like I'll have like a couple frozen pizzas, things of that sort. So this way here, if they run out, I'm good for a little bit. And we don't have steak every day, so you know what I mean. But you can have simple little meals, and then you can have, stuff that's, a little bit bigger meals. So you have it on hand if you need it. Thank you, Kyle. I do appreciate you, man. I guess you figured that out, huh? We're just repping to go through one of the two. But yeah, I mean, I tell people that, it's got some things where you're lacking on, you can't seem to get. So like I said, here's a good example. My wife gets these like seasoned, they're like chicken chunks, but they're like flat. Like they're almost like an oval, but they're flat. And they're cut up and they're put into a package about this big, it's about that wide. And she says, well, they don't have any more in the store. I said, honey, we have 5 of them in the deep freezer. She goes, oh, I forgot all about that. So we're good. And they haven't had them for a while. So we're good. It's something we like to have. We mix it in with like vegetables and stuff like that. And if you don't have it, you're pretty much in trouble. Because in other words, it's stuff you normally like to eat. So I tell people, listen, it's not about fear-mongering. Just stock up a little bit, just to be on the safe side, in case things get a little tighter and you can't find the food that you want. It's not like the whole store's going to dry up and you're not going to have anything, right? So that's just basically that. So, which is cool. Let's see. I like that, Kyle. Let's try again. I guess second charm, or was that the third charm? Third time is the charm. Let's see. We got 66 in there now. Sweet. Tony Gibbs says, hey, Chris, more and more Antarctica stuff on YouTube lately. Sarah was just ahead of the curve. Oh, yeah. And like I said, we got more coming up. I said this, we're going to get one of those out too. But guess what? You guys are going to love this. I've got one on another moon that we have not covered yet. And guess what I found in there? Structures. Things that are oddities that should not be on this particular moon. And you'll see what I'm talking about. That's the next video coming up. And we're going to try to knock out that other Antarctica I was telling you about. So, yeah, this is cool. I mean, I was just looking at the picture saying, I'll tell you what triggered it is because I was looking at one of these older videos that I had done. And funny enough, I click on the link to get the same exact picture that I used in that video. It's totally different. It's black and white. It's no longer there. And I'm still trying to find it. I may find it before I make the video so I can add that link. But I was just like, are you serious right now? They happened to change it. Why? I found a lot of stuff in that video when I did it way back when. So, really interesting. But there's 2 different moons. One of them was Titan. The other one's a different one. So, we got a couple of those coming up. just really, really bizarre. And it's just how they hide these things in the photo that makes you just go, wow, that's just, it's cool and very frustrating at the same time the way they do it. Because once you bring the stuff out, bam, you know what I mean? It's just awesome. So everywhere in our solar system, I said this before, I promise you, with the new kids on the block, they're just, we're just learning what's around us. That's pretty much it. And this is the reason why, we're finding more and more of this stuff. And this is the reason why, they're way ahead of the curve. This is the reason why the big bum rush, like I said, to go out, moons, planets, bodies, they're doing this for a reason. Again, if you found life on our moon, there's a good chance it's other places too. And there you go. This is the reason why they're all about it now, right? Make sure. Okay. Let me make sure that it's working correctly. Martin Lucas, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Say, hey guys and girls, managed to get here today. First one in 3 weeks. Work's been crazy. I feel you, man. I feel you. I understand. Glad you can join us there, Martin. Tony Gibbs, you said every solid surface in the solar system has anomalies. So far, pretty much correct. And I would venture to say just about every body in our solar system has been occupied at some point. Gaseous planet or not. And like I said, at some point, that gaseous planet has to have a core. Even if it's just a core and nothing else. You could bet something's lived on it. And even if they didn't, that doesn't mean the rest of the moons and planets and everything else have not been, right? Mark Lewis, he said, hi Chris, and everyone from Wales, UK. What's going on, Mark? Good to see you in there. Elaine, you said, I got a box of assorted dried beans, nuts, pulses, and other things to make hearty soups with over winter. So always got something in there. Yeah, I mean, even if it's the simplest garbage you can eat, like we got like a small pantry, right? What happens if everything suddenly stopped? Like, let's say, God forbid, COVID went wacko again, and they shut everything down. Let's say it got to that point. Well, I mean, you can have everything from just quick stuff. You can open like a can of trash. I call it like Chef Boyardee, things like that. I don't mind those once in a while. It's like, maybe you just come home from a long day, you don't want to cook, you just like, whatever. And you know what I mean? But, to me, it's just like, just things that you could eat, that you love to eat, and then have other stuff that you probably wouldn't eat on the norm, but you still have in the house just in case. So, it's good to have. Alien Tenor, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Pick reminds me of it, Planet of the Apes, Charlton Heston. What have you done? Remember they was like screaming it? Oh, that's because we're mental. The Duchess of Dragonshire, what's happening? Said, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Well, good to see you too. Glad you're here. Daniel Webster, what's happening? Good to see you in there. John Beck is in there. Hello all, he says. Kyle, he said, I got enough toilet paper to wipe my butt for years. And he said, see the smile on my face? That was pretty funny. Mr. Jean Ward, what's happening? He said, greetings, everyone. Good to see you in there, Jean. We got to get you back on again. Remember, we were supposed to get you on there, and I think you were busy that time and didn't connect back again. But, yeah, definitely going to do that. Good to see you in there, Mr. Jean Ward. Health Watson says, fat and calories are your friend. Yeah, certain fats are. Rico says, Chef Boyardee, so good. Adam. Oh, you're talking about, talking to Richard, okay. Let me see. War Crime, you said, I sent this all 0265. It's got a crazy background. I think you should look at it. I will. I'll definitely check that out. Definitely will check it out. I gotta go back to my emails again, too. Pete Ferreira said, Mars, due for a planet-wide dust storm. Hope electrified sand and 60-mile-an-hour winds don't damage rovers. Well, I mean, they're all the one that was supposed to have taken out Spirit and Opportunity. Well, Opportunity more, because that was the last one. As far as the small ones, the twins, they call them. while that got hit by a storm, and keep in mind that was planet-wide, and yet, you know, Curiosity was just fine, so I think it wouldn't be an issue. Oh yeah, Jean, we definitely will. We'll get together there. Tony Gibbs, you said, bought one of those moth. Well, if you want to eat moths, it'd be all right too. Those month-dried emergency food deals, but they keep after you to buy more and more. If I need more than a month of emergency food, it's possible you have big issues to deal with. Well, the way I look at it is this. I thought that was a really good idea at first. I'm saying, man, it's not a bad idea. Some of these things are good for like 25 years. I'm going, okay, but what's wrong with the food I can get off the shelf now? I mean, it's not like a canned food is good for like 6 months and you got to throw it in the trash. These things could be good for, you know, 3-4 years. And if you get like rice and you put it in a container and seal it and everything else, you're good there. And, you know, foods like that, things you can still eat and not be like starving, right? So I went, I get the idea of the kind of cool foods and they have all that. And I was actually tempted to do that. And I'm thinking, what's the point? I got other food I can buy and can buy it on the cheap. That's just me, though. That's just me speaking, right? Mimi Reaction said, we finally have snow and blame it on the La Palma volcano for it. LOL, it's much colder than usual. We're supposed to have, I think, snow at Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's going to be the high like 42, so it's going to be kind of a mixed bag as far as I'm concerned. They're saying more of a snow, but it's hard to tell. It depends on the air aloft and stuff like that, but we'll see. We will see. Terry Kelling said, yeah, Charlton Heston, damn you all the hell. Josh D, yeah, we can do that. Said at me, or title at me, well, tagging me and Jean, you said a nice Christmas show of you two would make my Christmas. Yeah, we'll definitely get together. We will get together. Let me see. Steve Garnham's in there. What's going on, Steve? Good to see you in there. Alfie Joe Bob's in there. What's going on, Alfie? Good to see you in there. Whitebeard Sky Daddy, what's happening? Talking to Mr. Tony Gibbs over there. Tony Gibbs says 100 miles per hour at 1% Earth's atmosphere. Stranger could even cause much damage. Something doesn't add up. Yeah, well, they say like if it's like 300 miles an hour, on Mars it's like 40 to 60. So it's still wind blown, and if it's dust and you got a lot of it kicking up, that hurt. You know, at least on the skin anyway. So there would be erosion, no doubt, right? But it wouldn't be as much as 300 miles an hour. 300 mile an hour wind here, yeah, you're in a world of hurt here on Earth, right? Long Island, New York is in there, 1395. What's up? What's up? Juan Rivera, what's happening? Hey, Chris from Fresno, Cal. What's going on in there in Cali this evening? Well, yeah, early. Well, it's afternoon for you guys. But what's going on over there? Anything good? Everybody safe over there? I don't think I have. Is this something just recent, Mimi? You said, Chris, have you heard of the news about the Japanese lunar rover? The Japanese are supposed to be Chinese. Or are you talking about the one that's on Mars? San Health Diego, 1904 says, Alien Hunter collaboration? I'd love to. I don't know if he'd get on there, though. I'd love to be able to do like a live feed with him and stuff like that. Puts out a lot of good work, man. I swear to God. I'd love to see him hang around and keep doing his vids. Like I said, he does a really good job, and I'd love to see him still on there. Oh, let's see. James Gregan's in the house. I don't know if I mentioned him earlier, but hello, James. Good to see you in there. Jonathan Waddell's in there. What's going on, Jonathan? Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. Mr. Jean Wood, I guess the other half, significant other day, is going for operation type thing. I hope everything goes well for her. Like you said right here, he's talking to Josh. He said they do these ops all the time, which is true, but you just still hope for the best, of course, you know. Let me see. Pat Owen, what's happening? Said happy Friday, Chris. Hello all. What is going on, Pat? I hope you're doing well. Kyle, 300-mile-an-hour wind would blow the hair right off your head. You're right about that. I'll blow you into a wall, one of the two. That'd be bad either way. Let's see. Yeah, of course, Tony, yeah. He said, yeah, that erosion carves tubular pipes and perfect square openings, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm telling you, the wind on Mars does wonders. It's just awesome. Let's see. I'm not even sure I pronounce this. Atmosphericus, whatever it is, DNB. So what's this channel about? You read names and say them? Thank God I didn't miss this. Oh, no, it's basically roll call. We do this all the time, and then we see what comments they have to say or questions and stuff like that. Let's see. What is that? All right. Limey, I'm not sure why. Oh, it is for you, John. Okay, well, you know, like I said, all the power to you. I hope it works out well for you, man. Let's see. The Duchess of Dragonshire says, got any crazy picks for us today? No, some rather interesting topics, though, and some, you know, things like that. And we got, like, I don't know, probably 10, 12 tabs open, which is just awesome. But, yeah, so I actually was supposed to do, let me see here. Get this thing back where it was supposed to be. Yeah, Alien, yeah. Mars has a very creative win. Well, yeah, that's what they want you to believe anyway. Yeah, that should be pretty easy, John. So if it's just a cataract, you're just talking about just probably using laser surgery or whatever. Where does the thing just go? Wow, that was weird. John, you put on there, I think you said something about, Chris, what do you think about the Hannibal or whatever? And it literally said message retracted. It literally took your message off just without trying to read it. I said, where the heck did it just go? Retracted. I don't know if you could see it on your end, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. Were you talking about, this is a recent photo, right? I'm kind of curious because it's something I heard about, some kind of thing like that, but I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. I may not have even heard about it. Okay, the Hannibal disc on Mars. Okay, apparently they made it to Mars in the 30s and 40s. Oh, yeah, yeah. Even back in 1973, I think it was, we think the United States was ahead of us, but I mean, we were ahead of anybody else, but we weren't. Soviet Union back then, they had actually a little rover on Mars then. I call it the Prop M. It's PR and then OP and then -M. And I did a video on this years ago, so I just want to show you because not many people know about that. But like you said, Jean, there's a lot of places we've been that a lot of people don't know about. They were pressing this a long time ago. You know, they tried to get up there so badly that they were literally, blowing up on the launch pad. They were, going out into space and then just malfunctioning, going by Mars instead of landing on it or getting into orbit, depending on if it's a lander or rover. It's just crazy, right? So many things that were on there. Oh my God. And that they sent to different other planets. There has to be a reason why they just this big bum rush all of a sudden, starting from the 30s, and it might have even been in the 20s, which is really bizarre. Because you would think 20s, hell, we could barely had a decent car back then, let alone go to these planets, right?
I'll be back. I'm going with Brittany to TJ Maxx and Target.
Okay.
I left your message on your phone. I guess you didn't look at it.
No.
All right, I'll be back in a little bit.
All right.
If I'm not back by 9, you have to pick up Joe.
Oh, imagine that.
Well, I mean, he can say that till we get back.
All right. Oh, that was funny. Let me see. That kind of jumped to me, but anyway. Let's see. Mimi said this unveils lunar rover prototype developed by with Jackson. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost positive now they got like this little contract with these different other companies to try to see who can make the best rover, newest ones for either the astronauts going to the moon instead of the little thing that they put together during the Apollo missions, right? And they're like having everybody chomping at the bit, these other companies trying to see if they can come out with the best model, right? That's what they did. I think it was Lockheed Martin that had, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that actually won the bid to make the rover for the Apollo missions, right? But there was like, I think 7 companies were like chomping at the bit. So everybody's making different models, different this, showing it to the NASA and everybody else. And of course, there's only one person that could get it. So who would have known that you could just put a frame together with 2 lawn chairs and 4 electric motors and have at it? Well, there's more to it than that, you know that. But they try to make it as light as possible so it can be as fast as, fast as possible and be able to get around and not drain the batteries as quick too, right? Jean, what do you mean? XYL. Yeah, Mimi, yeah, that was the wife she was just saying. She was just going to, I guess we were going shopping with my daughter, our daughter. So, yeah. Atmospherics, he said, my thoughts on the structures on Mars shaped like things we know are just coincidental. You think they're coincidental? Or not coincidental? Because I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird depending on how you look at it, right? When I see these things that have multiple 90-degree corners, round circles within them corners, or a box, depending on how you want to look at it, if there's 4 90-degree angles. When you stop and see something like one corner, there could be anything, layered rock. When you look at 2 corners, okay, maybe it's the same thing. It's kind of like like a slate type thing. When you got 4 corners, you got like circles in them and squares and slots, and you start going, okay, that's a bit much as far as I'm concerned. So yeah. William Kennedy Jr. said, hello, hello, hello to all out there. Some really good stuff here. Thank you. Oh, William, thank you, and glad you're here. Backyard Astronomy, you said you are doing great work exposing the truth. We all know our history is a lie. I know the truth is very close. It's a lot more complicated than people realize. The cover-up is coming to an end. Yeah, which we're going to touch on too, because I think my battery's going to go on this thing, isn't it? Audio. Yeah, I think it's going to go. It's blinking on me here. Hey, blinking. Let me do this. Let me shut this audio off here a second. And get new batteries. It was actually blinking on me here. Let me get some here. Ah, it's a wee bit brighter. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's starting to blink. I mean, I was just happening to look down at the transmitter on this thing, and I'm like, what is going on here? Seems to be better now. All right, let me see here. Audio might be a little bit better, too, as well. Let's see what happens with that. On to, okay. Let me see. What is going on here? Seems to be better now. Okay. Long Island, New York, you said your question was, Chris, how do you feel about the James Webb Telescope? Did they ever get that thing up there yet? I know they had a problem or an issue when they were moving it, I guess, to transport it to the rocket that it was going to be launched with. And I know they said something about it had slid off something like while they were transporting it. Did they ever get that back to normal? Is it on it's going to be on its way? What's the deal with that? I haven't checked up on it. It is, Jean. It looks like Chris's chair is flickering in and out of reality. I'm actually from a different dimension, folks. I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to just come clean. Yeah, Tony, those can be a real pain, can't they? So my computer doesn't argue with my spelling as much as my tablet. Yeah, especially that spell check. You're going like this, and somehow it says, you said, yeah, I had to go chase down a hockey puck, and it says hockey. Wait a minute, that's not what I said. Yeah, it was actually, guys. I don't, I know a lot of you were on that day that I had done remember I had done the Wednesday Hangout. Well, I was supposed to do a video this Thursday, but that cat that I showed you had passed on. Her name was Smokey, and she passed on. Let me put this up here so you guys can see what's next coming up. Of course, you've never seen this before, right? But I've actually have 3 cats. Actually, we had 3 females, and then we just had gotten a male maybe about a year and a half ago. We got one that's a long-haired domestic black cat. One was Smokey, she was gray, and then we had one that was Midnight. And we had gotten him like 2004, 2005, 2006. Now keep in mind, lifespan is usually, not all the time, but usually typically around 14 to 16 years or 17 years, depending on. Some cats will last a little longer, but I'm just chilling here with my cat. This is the first one, the black one. She had passed on about a year and a half ago. Smokey's the one on the right side of me here. Yeah, so she had, it was Wednesday afternoon. She was doing fine, everything was good. Actually, Wednesday morning, everything was good. And then we come home, like she was on the side next to the entertainment center. It's like, oh yeah, what's going on, right? So we're petting her and everything. What you guys didn't know, like I said, she was about 16 and a half years old. And she had, like I said, she was 16 and a half years old. And so wasn't my cat that's on my chest there. I was just chilling, watching TV. They're all kind of chilling. The other cat was actually on the side of me, on the left-hand side, and Smokey was on the right. And but anyway, so we come home. My son picks her up, and she goes in there. She wasn't feeling too great lately anyway. She's losing a little weight and everything else. I said, oh, that's not good. And from our research, we think it was like a kidney shutting down and stuff like that. So anyway, he goes, oh, there's an issue here. I said, what are you talking about? He went to go set her down again, and she was wobbling and everything else, and she really couldn't stand much. And Thursday morning we got up and she was still okay. She had gotten off the couch a couple times and went back up there, and we were all looking at her. She literally took her last breath right in front of us. So that wasn't a very good morning yesterday. And I usually put out a video on a Thursday, but I didn't. I said I can't do that. So that was kind of sucky. That wasn't too good at all. But yeah, so my son and I buried her later that morning, yesterday morning. So yeah, never a good thing. Not cool. But it is what it is, right? You can't do anything about that. So what I did was I started to get my mind off of it. I was cleaning up my, like I said, the desk and everything else, and cleaning up, and then I was straightening up my shortwave listening area where I got these 2 other little radios and stuff like that. And you can see it right here, the bench itself. Just when I tell you I'm usually sitting on the left-hand side, I got the other computer on the right. I'll turn the screen, but now I'm in the middle of both of them, so got that taken care of. There's the funny, well, Jean, you'll love these because I know you're familiar with the Time Wave, the DSP-9, and of course I got the ATS-25. These are software-defined radios. I've got that one plus the other one on the other side. And you can see the older scanner I got. It's got the ISS. It's tuned to that all the time. And just listen to conversations whenever they do transmit and stuff like that. So I appreciate the Josh D's condolences. Yeah, I mean, wow, Pete, really? You had a rabbit that lived for 17 years old, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ricardo, you said 16 and a half is good for a cat. My poor cat lived till 12 and then died from cancer. Wow, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, here's the thing. It's like some people that don't like cats be like, big deal, it's just a cat. But here's the thing. It literally grew up with all of my kids. You know, all of them. Like I said, so each one of them now is like, you're like, okay, so I got one female left. And, of course, we got a much younger male that we had got. This cat here was out in the back of our job. And like I said, he was, you know, there's a lot of cats. There was like 12 cats, 15 cats. And we'd feed them. We didn't care. Of course, they came down and, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, we took the cat in. He was literally, the other male cats, the other alpha males were whooping his butt every time we turned around. I said, you know what, the cat's an awesome cat, super friendly. He might have been a house cat. Somebody just tossed him out. I said, you know what, let's just take him. We'll give him a good home. So he's here now. We call him Biscuit because his face is like, we should have called him Football because he had like a face like a football. But good cat, cool. And now I still got my long-haired domestic cat. You know, it sucks because, like I said, they grew up with the kids. Of course, the kids were bummed out. And, you know, it's not fun. So, yeah, Mimi, yeah. You said pets are like family. For us, our rabbits are like, what do you call it? Oh, somebody's walking in my driveway. Let me get my gun. Oh. Let's see here. Okay. What time is it? Okay. Oh, so she hasn't even left yet. She just left now. The wife, I'm saying, what the heck's in the driveway? Anyway, so we're good. But anyway, so... Oh, thank you, Miss Haird. Yeah, like I said, it was funny because I just had the, you know, I just showed you guys, it was on that Wednesday, I had that, you know, live feed that it was for testing out that mic, and of course the anniversary of Sarah's passing. And like I said, I showed a lot of the people that were here, Smokey, and like I said, she was old and she was just at her end of her life. In fact, that Thursday, we were supposed to take her in the afternoon, we were going to put her down. I mean, she wasn't getting to the point, she wasn't drinking, no matter if you put her in front of the water, that she just wasn't eating or drinking, so there's just no point in letting her suffer, and so I guess it just happened naturally, and, you know, so it is what it is, so I thank everybody for saying that, you know, appreciate it. Alien Tenny said, I had a border collie, Doberman cross dog, Tara, that lived till 19. Wow. Woke up one morning and she passed. Doesn't that suck, man? I mean, God. You know, I hate to like see that because, you know, again, you had these animals for so long. And here's the weird thing too. It depends on where you get them from, right? Like, the first cat we got, it was friends of us that called us. They were at a pet store. They said, hey, look, the mom and a few of the babies were found, and they brought over to the pet place in case anybody would like to have them. It was basically a feed store, animal feed store. So I went there, and like I said, I grabbed Midnight. That was the one that was sitting on me or laying on my chest. Smokey was at a flea market of all places with her sibling, and it was like 95 degrees. Of course, the people had an umbrella and everything else, but I said, we went back the next day to get her, and there was only down to one cat, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they got rid of the one I wanted. Turned out it wasn't. It was the one I wanted. Grabbed her, and Shadow was that was kind of a weird thing. Where we live now, this is where she originally came from. So in other words, we live somewhere else, and a friend of my wife said, hey, you need to go down in that place over there in the neighborhood. There's a cat running around. They just say kitty, 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 and it'll come to you. And she said, we've been feeding it, but I can't keep it in the house. And she's like, well, how come? She said, well, I got a 150-pound lab that's in the house, and it doesn't really like cats too much. I said, oh, okay. So I did, called it, came to me, and funny enough, I moved to this neighborhood where she was originally found. So, yeah. So, again, she's like 15, 16 years old. It's like, oh, can't wait for that next shot, next time around. Yep. Erico, he said, I think I'm pronouncing that right. I hope so. And is it Erico or Erico? I think it's Erico. In ancient times, cats were worshipped because they knew the secret to life. Yeah, because they had 9 lives. Oh. But, yeah, I mean, they were, yeah. Especially the Egyptians, they actually basically had them as pets. They were like, I wouldn't say gods, but they were respected. Daniel Webster said they keep putting off the James Webb telescope. It's supposed to be going up for the last 3 years. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm waiting. I'm like, I wish it would hurry up. It would be great. Yeah. So. Let's see. Phil C. Yeah, he said, sorry to hear about your family cat, Chris. I've buried a few cats and dogs myself, and it's just awful. Yeah, it's not easy, is it? It sucks. Adam said, when you lose your pets, I had the cutest Jack Russell, lost her a couple years ago, still hurts some days. Yeah, I hear you. Sorry to hear that, too. Yeah, it sucks. It is not easy. What's going on there, Frax Centurion? Good to see you there. Say good morning. Pakovich, Stravinsky, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Sean Ward, he said, nice setup, Chris. I have an ICOM IC 85. That's a nice, yeah, that's a nice rig. That's nice. Like I said, I've got the other one here too, the Malahit, they call it right there. It's like I think it's like a 50 kilohertz up to like, I think it's like 2,000 meg. They call it 2,000 meg as they word it. Yeah. So, but I had to clean this thing up. I had like on the right-hand side of the desk, I had all like papers and receipts. I'm going, what am I doing here? So I cleaned it all up. And like I said, I got that, believe it or not, Jean, I got that TimeWave DSP-9 for $1. $1. I go into this antique store, and we've been there several times. I said, they never have nothing new in here. I said, but I just feel like going today. Why don't we just go ahead and get it done? So we go up there, and I see this thing just kind of laying there with a power supply. You don't even see the front of it. It's just laying there on the table. I look at it, I said, oh my God, it's a TimeWave. It's an older model, but it's not the point. I said, and I look at the thing, it says $1. I said, if it doesn't even work, it's well worth $1. So I snapped it up. Definitely worth having. Oh, okay, yeah. Those are pretty cheap, aren't they, Jean Wood? The other transceivers, an Anytone 5555. See, to me, I've seen that same one. Transceiver, rather, I'm sorry. That one's a relatively new one, too, isn't it? Like, because obviously it's an off-brand type thing, but, yeah. What's going on there, Your Highness? Good to see you in there. Dan Martin says, our cat is family. Better believe it. Sky Blue. Dogs have owners, cats have staff. Yeah, pretty much do it now. I don't know if I still have, I even got these on these right now. Well, there was somebody active on this 41 meters earlier. Had somebody on there. The other receiver. I ended up buying you're familiar with it, Jean. I'm sure some of the others might be too. The MLA 30 Plus, a loop antenna. The funny thing is, I'm listening to this, and I don't know if you guys ever heard it, but Supreme Master TV. It's funny, it's on here right now. I'm like, how in the heck? I haven't heard that thing in a long time. Sometimes they have decent topics, but, you know, but I like to listen. I was listening to some Czechoslovakia station earlier, too, which is in English programming. It's in English language, I should say. Really interesting. I like to listen around the world, see what's going on. Even if it's off topic to what you normally listen to, right? It's still good to be able to do that. But the only thing I don't like about this ATS 25, which is that one right here, is that it doesn't have a simple noise blanker, which is just, or noise reduction, depending on how you look at it. But the noise blanker, which the Malahit does have, the only thing this one has is that it's like you can, narrow the band, which helps, but it sucks. So I'm not a big fan of that radio as far as that feature goes, but that's why I got the TimeWave DSP hooked up to it. Let me see. Renee V said, neat, Chris. Looks neat. Oh, yeah. had to clean it up a little bit. So yeah, finally got it done the way I wanted to. Yeah, exactly. Yep. John, what you said, any tone, made in China, 11 and 10 meter export transceiver. Yeah, that's what I thought. I've seen that radio. It's pretty cool. Mimi said, what are you listening to? Because right now I think it's yeah, this is oh, they're talking about TV right now because they're talking about transmitting on the KU band, the satellite band. But this is Supreme Master TV. It's on 9 megahertz right now, 9.395. Sean, you'll know that band. It's pretty open, pretty good. As well as the 41 meter, it's pretty busy usually. Turn her down here a little bit. Oop. Oh, yeah. Yep. I am Czech. Yeah, great for all you said. I am Czech. Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore. Well, I should have just called it Czech radio, right? But that's what they used to. I wanted to be proper if we could. But anyway, so I love the idea. It's kind of like Russia today, right? They're having a Russian, Spanish, and of course English. So you get to hear a different perspective, rather, around the world, and that's why I enjoy doing that. It's like just a little pastime. Like I said, it's not I like the MLA 30 plus, which is, like I said, it's a loop antenna. It's a good antenna, but what I like about it, can like null out the sound, the interference. Problem is, it's still, I'm in an area where there's a lot of electrical, so there's a lot of ground noise and stuff like that, and which sucks, but it is what it is, right? Not a whole lot you can do about it. Stephen McAllister, he said, hey Chris, I have a wee Patterdale Terrier, and he ran away chasing a bench. That's on the break. He managed to cross about 5 roads and ended up in shop center, then in Facebook. Oh, yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. Ricardo Petrazi, thank you very much for your support, sir, as always. Thank you. Us lot versus NASA. We analyzed, we de-obfuscated, we studied, and we saw through their BS. Mic drop. Boosh. Exit stage left. Exactly, Ricardo. I totally agree with you. So, yeah. Again, thank you for your support, as always. You guys are awesome. But... yeah, I mean, it's cool that we can do that, like just bring this stuff out. And like I said, I've got that new video coming up on a new moon, not ours, not Pluto. Totally different one. And we got more of those coming up, by the way. So you're going to definitely want to check that out. All right. What else did I have in here? Oh, yeah, that's just the cat one. Now, this was actually put out on October 23rd. 2020. Now, you guys all know John Lear, or at least most of you do. A former CIA pilot claimed that the moon is actually inhabitable. After all, the most importantly, that it has a population of well over 250 million already. Conspiracy theorists all around the globe instantly went wild as soon as the statement was issued. He talked about how he came across the strange structures on the surface of Mars, and even brought forth a series of pictures that are meant to prove his point. But this is, I mean, I don't know if there'd be that many people. And the reason why I say that is this. Unless they're all concealed within the moon, you would think there'd be a lot more traffic on the outside of the moon. Now, with that being said, is it possible on the other side of the moon, and there's a lot of coming and going there? So in other words, if they needed to leave, they can take off and, come around and nobody can see them. They can just take a wide travel around and then come back to Earth at night, or whatever the way they travel. Is it possible that's what's going on? Because I'm saying, if there's that many people on, they have to transport themselves. So I mean, common sense would tell you that, right? Thank you, Kyle. I do appreciate that, brother. He said, you are amazing. No, you guys are amazing. That's just cool. That's just awesome. But like I said, I may do the work, but again, the channel ain't worth crap without you guys. So you guys get the pat on the back as well, especially for doing the work you guys do too, because you guys will study these things as well. And to me, that's what I feel like I'm accomplishing more than anything, because people are like grabbing these things in themselves, and even if they disagree with me, like I said, which is fine, they'll say, I'll get the thing myself. This is awesome. This is the reason why I dropped the links, so people can check it out for themselves. And a lot of people are using either whatever, whether it be GIMP, Photoshop, and they're finding the same stuff. Sometimes they're finding even more crazier stuff than like a section that I've looked at. You guys might have found something even more, which is just crazy, and that's what makes it unique. And that's like rewarding for me as well, right? It's just cool. But again, I appreciate that, Kyle. John, I like that. Best meme I saw today. The next variant is communism. Pretty much. Now, I just heard, I don't know if this is true. I know some of you guys were from actual Germany, but they were saying that they're actually stopping people in the streets and asking for their papers. Because I remember we were talking about this before, and they said something about if you didn't have it, you're going to be heavily fined. Now, is that true? I seen that just, either I heard it might have been on the news, and it might have been on one of the receivers here, or it was on, I think it was also on another page I had, so I don't know if it was Facebook or whatever it was. Or was it even that? But either way, it's just kind of funky how, it's like, here we go with the dictatorship basically thing. And it's sad that it's like that. It's like people have got to stand up to this crap, because it's not going to stop there, folks. I promise. It's not going to stop there. Oh, yeah, it does go back, Mimi. You said, I can remember Shoutcast Radio. Man. Scourge, 1971, what's happening? Said, afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good to see you in there. Yeah, I've heard the same thing, Dan. Dan Martin says, I heard that our government is going to fake an alien invasion to depopulate America. You know anything about that? Well, I think we're already getting that. Think about it. The Tic Tac UFO, other UFOs that are on the West Coast or around the world. It seems like we're already there. Let me shut this thing off. I can hear. I can still hear her talking in the background. Nothing on there either. But, I think we're getting that now. I think we actually get that quote-unquote fake alien invasion, because we don't know who it is, blah, 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 blah. And, there was one guy, and I'm going to show you this too. This was I think he's a governor. And he's basically saying he doesn't trust some of these officials, these new program that they have out. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But I don't know about depopulating America, because it's not going to do anything to the population itself, right? Unless, of course, they plan on blowing up cities. Well, then people are going to be killed in the process. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we'll be fine. But I think we're actually getting that. What do you guys think about that? Do you think they're kind of doing the fake alien invasion now? Because, if you think about it, they're not saying alien invasion, but they're saying, we get this Tic Tac, and we don't know where it comes from. We get these other crafts. We don't know where they come from. They're not saying they're doing anything bad, but they're saying they're traveling in our airspace with impunity. It's like, and all this other BS. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's maybe it, or do you think that's still coming? And that do you have a different view on that? Equalizer, what's happening? Tony Gibbs, you said, I don't doubt the CIA notice. With all the stuff we have seen, we know someone is there. Way too many pieces of equipment that does not appear abandoned. Yeah, I noticed that too. It's like either structures, some kind of machine parts, whatever it may be. Says most theorists out there believe in the fact that there are aliens on the moon as we speak. So this hologram could actually be our means of providing this after all. Now, they were saying it's, and I said this a long time ago. He said, But he is not the first of the bunch, as the same has been stated by many different amateur astronomers so far, as they claim that the sort of holographic projection could be spotted on the moon's surface in the past. And what I said about that was like, is it possible to put like now whether it's us trying to stop people from seeing what's on the moon, because now everybody's got large and small telescopes, right? Is it possible that they're either projecting it or the moon is doing it and put like this kind of weird filtering over the top so you can't really see what's on the surface? Now, I would think if they're trying to do that, they probably would have blew the LROC out of the orbit of the moon a long time ago, right? So I don't know what to believe, but there's definitely things on the moon. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm not sure about the numbers that he's saying. This is apparently quite a ravage through a huge cataclysmic event. Apparently took place northwest of the Hannibal crater in the past. In the interview with Lear, we can see him take out pictures of what appears to be an observatory on the moon in 1947. Now, I think I know which one he's talking about because I've seen the same one. I don't know about an observatory, but there's definitely a structure there, and it's just really, really bizarre looking. I like that, Noodles. Good the way you coincide that. Yeah, Space 1999, get it? Because you put that kind of money. That was pretty good. Kyle said, I think they're full of crap. Yeah, I mean, you got to do your own research and over and over and over again and try to narrow it down to what sounds more likely. Now, in this day and age, the way we keep pulling these things out of these photos, it's almost like that's almost impossible to do, because what you thought was not likely is now becoming likely, right? The moon is also allegedly 40 million years older by now, too, as it was constructed during the Ice Age 40 million years ago. The inhabitants of the moon are humanoid aliens in nature, and amongst them also lie the Greys. Our planet, on the other hand, is a prison for our kind, one we are never allowed to leave. Interesting.
A former CIA pilot shocked the public with his statement that the moon is actually a livable place with over 250 million citizens. The former CIA pilot, John Lear, has been quite famous among the conspiracy theorists. "Everything you heard about the moon is a lie," exclaimed Mr. Lear. He said he has discovered secret structures on the moon and furthermore, showed some images that allegedly show proof of these artificial formations. Amateur astronomers have recently recorded something that looks like a holograph projection of the moon's surface. There are many conspiracists that believe that some kind of a science or technology is hiding the structures on the moon. So, this holographic technology might actually be the one that covers them up. The first visits to the moon most probably happened thanks to the Tesla's anti-gravity craft. I can't prove this, of course, or I'd be dead already. I can't show you a picture of the USS Enterprise up there now. It's just what makes sense knowing the technology gained after the US government pumped billions or trillions into all of Tesla's research, claims Lear. In Lear's video, you can observe some photos taken from an observatory in 1946. They apparently show a big catastrophe that happened northwest from the Endymion crater. He further continues explaining how the moon was made inside of Jupiter 40 million years ago. Allegedly, during the last ice age, 15,000 years ago, the electromagnetic trajectory was stuck in the Earth's orbit. Thus, he claims, the big cities, civilizations and bases on the moon started showing up. Lear described the moon's citizens as humanoid aliens. He also said that among them there is also the race of the Greys, but they live under the moon's surface, working in enormous laboratories. To sound even weirder, he said that the Earth is actually a planet prison that serves as a place for punishments. There are millions of other planets like Earth, he stated. John Lear has some unbelievable ideas and claims, so it's not strange he is being a subject of constant jokes among the rationalists. However, this former CIA pilot was also a former captain of the U.S. Air Forces. He has operated more than 100 different planes and has many certificates that prove his expertise.
You know, it always seemed weird to me, like, these guys, they worked in these high-ranking areas, and yet they haven't been killed off. I mean, they don't have to, they can say, well, let's say he died of some unnatural car wreck, you know, like he went off the road. People go, yeah, well, he got killed off. Could they prove that? That's the whole point. It's like, it could have been just something that was a fault with the car, you know. But it's a wonder they haven't, like, you know, silenced him a long time ago if this is all true. Now, I believe a lot of the stuff that he says is true because I've seen things on the moon that pretty much echo what he's saying. I mean, so that many people on there, I'm not so sure about the numbers as far as that goes, but how do we know? None of this I thought was possible, I don't know how long ago. Now suddenly it is possible. So it's hard to tell, right? Noodles, he said, if they say officially that the aliens are spreading the variants, all bets are off. Yeah, and one thing about that, guys, the Omicron, whatever it's called, Cron, you know, try not to get jerky about it. I mean, Fauci, the douchebag that he is, will try to get everybody up in a big turmoil again. But from what I heard, there were scientists in Africa where they had found this, said that it was not deadly, at least at the moment. Now, once it got here, there's different variants of that strain, and some of them could turn out to be deadly. That doesn't mean that it is. They haven't had any deaths from it. You know, people get sick. It's very mild, was the actual word they used. So I don't, unless you guys have heard something newer, I haven't heard that. So the only thing I can say is, you know, Fauci, yeah, he should be pushed off a cliff. He's definitely staring the populace, and I don't know why he's doing what he's doing, but I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him. So if you know, don't get all worried, and you know, now they're like, again, see what they're trying to do? Another strain? Guys, here comes another one. It could be super dangerous. So all you people that didn't get it, you better get it now. But they're also saying it made all the vaccines they have so far, they said they have to, you know, basically change it a bit so that it'll work for the new variant. So in other words, if you get the shot, you already got any COVID, it's not going to work. You're going to get it. But again, it's mild, so don't freak out. At least that's what they're saying right now. I don't know if, Jean, you heard anything different, but yeah. You know, I'd be curious to hear, because last time I heard, when the scientists there studied, it was just mild cases, nothing serious. Didn't hear any deaths yet. I think there's like 4 or 5 cases here in the United States so far. That's what I heard earlier. Now, what are you guys are hearing about it? I mean, to me, it's just like, oh my God, Omicron. So it's just like, it's crap. Yeah, there you go. This here, Dr. Forsenstein, yeah. Well, I mean, there was, you know, this guy is literally, you know, from, you know, a lot of people are like really grilling this guy. I mean, he says, I am the science. You are not the science. I'm following the science. You're not the science. You're garbage. Unless you're a virologist and you're looking underneath the telescope, you shouldn't be saying anything about this. I'm listening to scientists that give the word to the doctors in these hospitals. You know, for some reason, they're really pushing the crap out of this to really get everybody to completely get this. And like I said, in Germany, I don't know if anybody's ever gotten back to me on that, but they were literally going by people checking their papers. I don't care if you're walking, driving, and I don't know if they're giving out fines for that. But I know that's what they said they were going to do. Oh, I can always guarantee it, Herb Green. By the way, good to see you in there. If Nazis developed their Hannibal, they made it to the moon. Oh, you can bet on that. Tim Houston, what's going on? He said, hey, Chris. Hey, you guys. I take John Lair with a large grain of salt. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, is it possible that he's seen things that are on the moon? Absolutely. But a lot of people have seen photos of things on the moon, right? I mean, if you really think about it, I could do the same thing. I could be just like these guys. Yeah, you know, I've seen these big machines. Let's say I was looking at the photos. I never did any videos. But I was able to bring that stuff out. And again, never did. But then I could start going on talk shows. I could be doing the same thing. Yeah, I was in the service, or, you know, a good friend of mine was from the service, and he showed me pictures of structures and everything else. And I've seen these with my own eyes. And people would be like, well, you know, a lot of people would believe you. So it's kind of like, you don't know how much to take serious here, guys. You know that. pretty crazy stuff. This one here is pretty cool. Russian defense minister admits UFOs invisible to radar and should not be challenged by MiGs. That goes into the no crap category. MiGs are fast, but they're not that fast. And of course, this is April 9, 2021 by Chet Dembrick. When UFOs attack, documentary cases of hostile alien encounters, which I've never heard about one, other than people getting probed. And I'm not sure about the butt crack kind of probe, but yeah. A recently released CIA briefing paper from the 1990s, rather, I'm sorry, including an in-depth newspaper interview with then Soviet Deputy of Defense Ivik Tretayak, not sure I'm pronouncing that right, in which the subjects of UFO invisibility and rules engagement against them were openly discussed. In a candid interview, General Tretayak, I'm not sure again, I'll just say General, told of how a pulsating UFO was photographed and picked up on Russian ground radar, but the signal couldn't be recorded. So, yeah. He believes that the UFO cannot be recorded on radar because it is not an ordinary flying machine. Well, it's kind of like the SR-71, right? It's kind of almost invisible to radar. A machine which can be recorded on a relatively narrow band on which Air Force Defense Forces radars operate, further explained that the UFO appeared to have a stealth-like, again, characteristic, stating that he hoped technological progress will make it possible to widen the capabilities of radars to counteract, UFOs' stealth features. So, yeah, but here's the papers right here. And, of course, you guys will get all links to this. You can read this. Lights were observed in the sky, moving it as if they were fixed in the position of relative to each other. So, I mean, it goes on. You can see right here, it's all highlighted and everything else, page 2 and page 1 here. So I'll give you guys the links to that. You can check it out yourself. It's funny how, and this is what blows my mind. I look at this and I laugh. Big thing about UFOs all of a sudden. Now, I want you guys to just get your head around this for a moment. We see the things we see on Mars, things on the moon, other moons, like, planet body, like Pluto, different structures, different things on there that are not natural or naturally occurring. We see this all the time. We know, just from photos alone, that Mars had a civilization, intelligent, by the way. Same thing with Pluto. Same thing with the moon. But they want you to be worried about UFOs. It's like putting the carriage before the horse. It's like, listen, we already know that there's life out there everywhere. And they're trying to make this a big deal, but you're also talking about the general population. So the general population is seeing this for the first time going, oh my God, wow, that's cool. And someone probably unfair, like, can you tell us more about it? Well, to me, I go, I'm not even impressed with these UFOs. What's his name? Jeremy Corbell, whatever his name is. Everybody's calling him Cowbell and Cornhole and whatever else. I'm not impressed with it. I really am not. I think it's a gaffe. I think these guys that are doing this work, like Luis Elizondo, they're nothing more than mouthpieces. Let me tell you why. I think what they're doing is the government knows at some point we're going to become seriously spacefaring, right? We're going to be out there in space. We're going to be going to Mars. We're going to be going back to the moon, so on and so forth. They know at some point this information is going to get out. So they're trying to scramble and have a couple of these mouthpieces out there to let out this, slow disclosure to try to get everybody up to speed. So in the case of the event that this happens, there you go. But they're so silly in the way they put this out there. It's like, we've seen a bunch of this stuff. We know what's going on. And they want you to believe that, whoa, this is the biggest fear, these UFOs. If these are coming from Mars, Moon, and any other planet in our solar system or within the planet, then that's where the UFOs are coming from. But I don't believe that they're all from outer space. I believe it's our technology as well. Now, whether we got it from other civilizations, maybe some information we got off the moon, possibility. And then we basically back or reverse engineered it. Very good possibility. Like they say, the one in Roswell, that was supposed to have happened. So, get the technology of fiber optics and radar. And I don't think, people say, well, you got the microwave oven. The microwave oven was made by us. It's not special. It's basically 2.4 gigahertz friggin' basically radio waves cooking your meals. This is the reason why if you had a 2.4 gigahertz phone and you had it on you in air, it's like it would cut out. Yeah. So I mean, I just see this and I laugh as much as possible when I hear this. I'm going, it's such small fish, man. It's like UFOs, big fat deal, man. It's like we've already know there's life everywhere around us. So I'm not even surprised that there's UFOs. And I'm sure you guys share the same way I think. And if not, tell me what you, just elaborate on it. Because the way I look at it, I think it's a bunch of crap. Now, are the UFOs exciting news? Yes. If they're from outside of our Earth and not ours, then they're not dangerous, because if they've been in our solar system for millions of years, they sure and heck could have dominated this planet a long time ago, so I don't care about that. They're flying in our airspace with impunity. Whatever. You know, use all the words you like. It's not going to change my point of view. And I don't think you're going to see any kind of invasion happen unless, of course, they do turn on their own public and decide to use our own spacecraft, because that's the only way you're going to get an invasion that's going to kill people, is through something we're doing to our own people. Simple as that. So, what do you guys think about that? Herb Green, you said, I've seen with my own 2 eyes through a telescope stuff flying around the moon. Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, even if you've never seen anything, you never looked through an eyepiece of a telescope, excuse me, you could just look at these photos, whether it be the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the Apollo missions. We've dismantled many of those photos and enhanced it, and it's crap all over the moon. Whether stuff looks like it's dilapidated or if it's, structures that look like they're standing, whatever they may be. We've seen crazy stuff on there that is clearly not a crater. It's not a mountain. It's not a lot of those like buttes or mountains, whatever they want to call them on the moon. It's funny. You can see a haze over them, like an manipulation and censoring. Once you go through it, all of a sudden stuff comes out. And there's shapes of structures and something else. It's not, oh my God. You can go on and on about this. It's just crazy how much is really on the moon. And they want you to believe now, you guys should be shocked because of these UFOs. Whatever. Psst. Pusha. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, I look at it this way. I go, listen, show me a real UFO that's not in infrared, night vision, whatever you want to, light spectrum you want to put it in. Show me a true to life. Here's the funny part. The service, it shows you on the, the Nimitz, whatever it was, where they show like a UFO off the port side. I think it was a port, whatever it was. It was on the side of the ship, the battleship. And the funny thing about it is, these guys have got such lousy cameras that they can't even take a good picture. It's crazy. Because even if you were taking it at night vision, you're telling me they don't even have spotlights on these ships? Why couldn't they just point it at this UFO, then film it? This way you can see a real clear photo of this UFO. It's always somehow, again, night vision, infrared, blah, blah, blah. It's never during the day, and it's never crystal clear. These things could be anything. I don't believe it for a moment. Bombasta Buster, what's going on? Good to see you in there, man. He said when Elizondo came into the scene, it was obvious that he was controlled op. Yeah, like I said, I think he's just a mouthpiece. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to use these guys to, again, slowly bring out, a little quicker though, accelerate the, disclosure, because they know China's going up, Russia's going up, everybody's going to, like Mars so far, China, Russia, us, ESA, or ESA. There's so many people who are affiliated with these, building these crafts. Also, they know about this, sending these things there. At some point, when we become spacefaring, this stuff's going to come out. So they're trying to, I think that's what they're trying to do, trying to get it out a little bit quicker, not super fast, but a little quicker, so that, think about it, if, let's say someday down the road, and I'm hoping I'm alive to see this, they go, well, we already know about the UFOs like nowadays, but then all of a sudden they go, well, now we know where they came from. Ooh. Because we've been there, we've seen it, look like an old base. Here you go, guys, this is interesting. It's not going to be a big deal if we've already colonized Mars, we already have bases on the moon, because now we have the technology. So now people won't be as shocked when you hear somebody else had technology to be on the moon prior to us, because we're already going to be on the moon too. They're going to go, yeah, that's cool. Somebody was there before us. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. But you're not going to be shocked. Because if they were to show it now, more technology than us, people are going to be frightened. Because the first thing they're going to say is, really, it's not ours? Then how long has it been there? Well, we're guessing it's about a million years old. Oh, my God. So they got to be much more advanced now, right? There you go. So this is what's going to trip people up. But if they say, later on, like I said, moon base, and then we're got a colonization on Mars, everything's going good, we're flying back and forth, then they come out and say, oh, by the way, we're here, but it looks like somebody else was here prior to us. You're going to go, wow, that's cool. Show us more. You're not going to be shocked. You're going to be desensitized because we can already do this ourselves. We already have the technology to do so. So that's my take on it. David Vaught, he said, it's the old left hand, right hand trick. Who knows what's really going on with structures, but they know whose they are. I guarantee it. And like I said, they're sending like Lou Elizondo to, tell us what we need to do, Lou. Seeing you're the expert in this. Stop it. You already know what's on the moon. You know what's on Mars. Why do you need to have him do anything? This is the reason why I believe he's a mouthpiece. I don't believe that he's in the know because, well, he may be now, but the thing is, it's like the government already knows about all of these things that are on the moons, planets, and whatever else. So why we don't know where these are coming from thing? So that's why I believe it's like a slow disclosure, trying to be a little more accelerated to like bring the population up to speed. Now, people like you and I, we're already aware of it. We've seen it through photos. We've seen it through different things. And some things are pretty cool where some of these people who work for the government or whatever, that are true, telling you the truth, then you say, okay, well, I believe them, and you put the puzzle pieces together, and you come up with your own picture in your own mind what's really going on. So when they come out and they say, hey, by the way, you should see these UFOs, and they're flying in our airspace with impunity. Oh, okay, it's about time. I'm not frightened by it. If they were somebody else's, meaning from out of this planet, I would not be frightened about it. Would you? You guys can answer that. Would you be freaked out about it? Not in the least bit. Look at this, said, it's insane, but the alien threat has always been an ace up their sleeve. Yeah, pretty much. Ooh. It's like they want you to focus on this. It's that people, don't focus on this. Focus on what's right here. Look at this. That's right here. See this? Sleight of hand type thing? Yeah, pay attention to this UFO story we're telling you right now. Like I said, they don't need Lou to do crap. I mean, come on. They know about all of this. They're making it sound like it's all new to them. Josh D said, sorry I had to go. See you all next week, I hope. All right, Josh D, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And have a safe weekend there, right? Don't let any aliens pick you up and probe you. That would not be good. Neutrino, what's going on? He said, if they're more advanced than us, they're wiser than us and probably more peaceful, not a threat. And I've said that before. Because if they're a lot more, like you said, they're a lot more, they could be a lot more technologically advanced, probably millions of years ahead of us. In other words, they've been through their growing pains, meaning wars and, dictatorships and all this other crap, and they surpassed all of that, got past money, stuff like that. Now they work together as an actual species. Then money doesn't mean crap anymore because now they all thrive off of each other. They're one, as opposed to, well, that country over there hates us. Well, that one there likes us. They're our enemy. Well, they're our foe. And this, it just goes on, right? If you were to come together as a species, an alien race, or a human race, I should say, not the aliens, but as a human race, then you'd probably be more recognized, more welcomed into the galactic neighborhood, so to speak, because they'd say, well, they got their shit together. We're good now. We can actually talk to them, and we don't have to worry about being, basically they won't be a threat to us, meaning we won't be a threat to them, which I don't think that would be anyway, but you get what I'm saying. So we're going through growing pains, which they probably went through millions of years ago. And so now they're looking at us going, okay, well, right now they're barbarians, so we're not going to give them, the time of day, except maybe to their, officials, upper officials, that is. So, yeah. thing jumped on me here. Let me take a look here. See what's going on. Look at this. You said Austria and Germany are all forced vaccines. Yeah, exactly. You said Germany is doing forced vaccines February 1st, and the chief of EU is saying continent-wide. Yeah, see, BS. I'm not sure what you mean by this. Nature's lullaby being Earth. So at night, the moon is a reflection of Earth bouncing into the atmosphere. No, that's not true. It is actually a body. It's our satellite around Earth. There you go, Pat. You say, I will accept the jab after all the life has left my body. Sad, but yeah. Neutrino, he said, I wish they would come teach us, but we wouldn't listen. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, if they came down, or let's say it was more of an Independence Day thing, however, they weren't hostile, and they basically, whether they went through our TVs and radios and whatever else and said, listen, you know, we're here, we've been looking over you, blah, 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 you people must come together, start changing the way you live and the way you act toward one another. Once you can do this, your life will be so much more spectacular. In other words, we could show you things that you would never ever think ever to be, you know, that existed. Now, whether it be like a, you know, like sheer bliss kind of, you know, planet they go to or whatever it may be, it could show you things much better, provided you guys have become an actual human race instead of a bunch of barbarians fighting with each other over resources and money and this, that, and the other. Then I think it would make a difference. Tony Gibbs, you said they already demonstrated that they could turn our defense systems on and off at will. Yep, that's a fact. But again, you know, they can do that because they don't want us to be warring, right, and fighting with each other. Now, again, like I said before, if they were in fact hostile, then why don't they just make those, you know, like I said, the missiles and the silos, they're shutting them down. And of course the officials are going crazy. What's going on? They're shutting our stuff down. They could have said, why don't we just ignite them? Seeing we hate this human race. Just ignite every one of them here on the base or wherever they're located on the planet. It would kill how many people? Why not do that? They have not done that. You don't hear any of that. That's why I think it's a bunch of crap. Until I see otherwise, I don't believe that's the case. Trains reload, you said, Chris, you're great. I appreciate that. I'm going to jump all the way down here in the bottom, so if you guys commented or asked a question, go ahead and do it again if you don't mind. Lee Herring, what's happening? Good to see you in there. He says, hey guys, thumbs up. Go ahead, guys, hit it. Oh, pow. Not that, but yeah. Yeah, you said, I look at Australia at once free nation, not now. Isn't that sad? Isn't that really sad? Never in my life, and you know, I'm up there in age. I'm not like super old, but I'm up there in age. And what's funny about it, I've never seen anything like this. We've had plagues. We had all kinds of crap. And like I said, I think I said this last time where I said what's funny about it is a couple of these scientists in the UK, they were saying the only way, remember before they were saying the only way to have herd immunity was for everyone to get the shot. Then months and months later, they said, we're never going to see herd immunity. The only way, now they're saying now, if everybody gets the COVID, that's when we'll have herd immunity. because your body will build immunity to it. You won't, because even the shots don't even work anymore. In fact, I have a video of a woman saying this. She's a nurse. Now, not all nurses were agreeing with her, but she's saying, listen, it's not the COVID, it's the treatment of getting in the hospital. And they were saying after the shot, what people were going through, blood clotting and all kinds of other crazy stuff, that it's just, it's mental, you know? Jerry Lahane, what's going on? He said, nukes are deadly across dimensions, so they are protecting others we don't know. That could very well be. You know, because like I said, at one point, there was like 11 dimensions. Now I forget how many there are now. They've seen quite a few. Well, they know that they're there, so which is really interesting. Yeah, you said they're waiting for us to overcome this madness. Pretty much. What's going on there, G's Views? Good to see you in there. He said, we can't get out of this freaking joint either. Well, I mean, again, it starts with the people. People are starting to get in the know, right? I don't care if it's about what's going on with the space program. I don't care if it's got to do with all these vaccine crap and this freaking circus that we're in. People need to start standing up. There's a lot more of you than there are of them, okay? And if everybody started standing up and saying, I'm not doing it, you know, again, where does it stop as far as your rights? If they get this, they're going to say, that's too bad. Now we can control anything we want you to do. And here we go. And the whole new meaning of prison planet is pretty much spot on. Carmine, Gangami, I'm sorry. Maybe some of the UFOs around nuclear weapons are actually time travelers sending a message. Well, I mean, I'm not so sure about all that, but either way, they're trying to say, stop. Just stop. There's other means of, you know, communicating with these other people. Now, I understand why they have these weapons. They're doing on the standby. In case, it's like you're learning how to fight, but you're not going to fight. So, it's the same thing. You're getting ready, so in the event that it does happen. The problem with it is, oh, this one's building up more of their weapons, or this one's building up, and so the threat gets higher and higher and higher, and next thing you know, it's in this frenzy, and it doesn't need to be. You know? It's just weird. You wish you could just do a reset, and population just snap out of it one day and just go, oh, every country around here is my friend, and everybody looks at everybody the same. And now, can you imagine a world where every government, or it's like one population, and not governments and, you know, officials, but everybody just said, we all live for each other. So everybody you know, it's like, well, they need a house built, kind of like the Amish people. They go out and they build them, or the community go build them a house. Well, we're going to get together and we're going to be more spacefaring. Now every country gets together, puts all of their resources together, comes out with something like the Starship Enterprise, right? They go out. Now we become a force to be reckoned with. And I don't mean like a mean force, like an evil force, like, you know, something along them lines. I mean spacefaring, happy to meet other people out there or beings. That's what I'm talking about. Only then we'll become a planet and an actual race. And that's what sucks. Ufology Schwartz, he said, my whole family is vaxxed and they all got COVID. I'm the only one not vaxxed yet, and I swear I haven't gotten COVID yet. I guess because I'm vegetarian, I don't know. Well, no, I mean, but here's the thing, though. You're not the only one to claim that. In fact, one of these women's argument was that there's a lot more people with, now they'll twist this story. She said, she said, there's a lot more people now lately coming in that has been vaxxed. Now, don't get me wrong, there is unvaccinated too, of course, you know that. But they're saying, but I'm going, wait a minute, from the very beginning, I heard once you got this vaccine, you were good to go. You were set. So is it fair to the people who have gotten vaxxed? No, because they have this false sense of security now, thinking that they're good to go. So they walk out there and they're feeling good. All right, I got this vax, you know, at least I'm protected now. Bam, they get it again. Many are in the ICU. Why? They failed at this and they're not willing to admit it. That's what it comes down to. Herb Green, he said, not the media, nor the government, nor the farmers, and you mean pharmacist, well, like kind of big pharma, will make this stop. No, it's going to be we the people. And a lot of the Congress people are standing up for now and getting pissed off. And they're talking about even the space programs and these different branches that they're making and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's getting to a point. It's going to get to a boiling point. You watch and see. James Cragen said, Chris, the video of part 1, Satellite of the Moon. Oh, okay. The one I did on 11/16. Okay. Shows what looks like the largest collection of megalithic stones in history in Carnac, France. And I would like to see the alignment or both. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. Kind of overlay, right? That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I hope not. He said, look at this, said, we don't want to become a war like space-faring species. Yeah, we don't. Definitely not. Andy Hughes, what's going on, man? Good to see you in there. He said, we are all the same, Chris. It's the politicians that are the problem. Yep, people are the same the world over. Yep, it's all about divide and conquer, though, right? It's all about, you know, well, let's get this country to hate this country, and let's do this and let's do that. Stop. You know, I don't care who you are, what color you are, whatever it may be, what genre, it doesn't matter. You come up to me and you treat me with respect, I reciprocate. It's as simple as that. I don't give a darn. You disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you back. Or I'm going to just tell you off. But my point is, everybody, and I'm sure everybody here will agree, if you're treated with respect and like a human being, you will do the same for others. That's just our nature. But you're not going to take flack from somebody and you're not going to be crapped on. You're going to give it back to them. I've had this happen to me, and by God, they didn't like it when I came back. So yeah, it's just like, but everybody, you know, would be treating each other with respect, you know. Dog Creek Customs, you said the vax is fake. Well, I don't know about it's fake, but it's definitely a failed vax. There's no doubt about that. Because remember before they said, oh, the vax is working. Remember this? End of last year. It's working. This is great. Everybody needs to get it. Well, wait a minute. As it's progressing, they're going, okay, everybody's getting it. Come on, people. Everybody's unvaccinated. Get it, get it, get it. All of a sudden, oh, wait a minute. Oh. Even our local governor wouldn't even say anything locally. Finally, he'd come out and said, yeah, no, and I basically lost all respect from a while back, but I respected the fact that he said at this time, there are people now, a lot more lately, that are vaxxed and now getting it. Again, why? You're thinking you're protected and you're not. It's a false sense of security. It's not right. Lee Herring, you said that is exactly right. We need to learn to live in peace and work together as humans. Exactly. David Vaught, you said we might be part of a galactic federation already, and the strings we don't know are being pulled daily. We only see results in MSN. Yeah, explanations for them. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like, just become one. Just respect each other. And then once we all, as meaning the public, we all respect each other. In other words, I'm not talking about the officials and all these people. If everybody got along and started to unite, then you look at these officials and you set them and put them in their place. Because there's a lot more of you. They don't want you to come together as one. They don't want that. Divide and conquer. It's as simple as that. And that's right down to, you know, an African American against a white person, Spanish, doesn't matter who it is. I want you to be divided. I want you to hate. And that's the problem. It's our officials, and they're dividing, again, country to country. This one hates this one. This one's going to, join this one to attack this one. So, stop. If people, the public, would just get together and say, knock it off, enough is enough. They don't want people to become one. They don't want the public to become one. That's the last thing they want. Pat Owen, thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate it. That's awesome. I appreciate your support. You guys are awesome, man. That's all there is to it. Super chat. Mr. Pat Owen. You guys are the biz-on. Somebody trying to infect my computer. That was pretty funky. It just said threat, just quarantined. It just popped up on my screen. Not the one you guys can see, but on this one. I was like, what is going on there? It's literally quarantining it. I'm not on any other thing. It's just that this, I literally, you know what I got on this right now on the computer? YouTube. There's no other tab open. Interesting. Oh, just take that and just squash that. I don't know if it said a Trojan or some kind of crap that was on there. That's not going very far, I'll tell you that. Try again. Okay, Dog Greet, you say, yeah, that's what I mean. Yep. All right. Now, we've seen this. We've been hearing about this. China's hypersonic vehicle can park in orbit, warns a Space Force official. Now, the United States, I'm going to make this a hair bit bigger here. The United States, a Space Force officer, Lieutenant General Chance Saltzman, the Deputy Chief of Space Operations, Cyber and Nuclear, said that China's much anticipated new hypersonic weapon system is an orbital device, and it can be able to stay in space for an extended period of time. Why not? It's just like a regular satellite if they wanted it to be. According to the Financial Times report back on October 16, China had tested a hypersonic vehicle that fired a missile that exceeded the speed of sound by at least fivefold. At an online event hosted by Air Force Association's Mitchell Institute, Saltzman made some statements about China's suborbital hypersonic glider. He said that the words used about the vehicle are important in order to understand what the discussion is about. The term hypersonic defines speeds above Mach 5, 5 times the speed of sound. Suborbital defines objects that can reach space but do not enter the Earth or orbit around the Earth. But this is what I'm getting at. This is what's funny. Because like I said, we discussed this before, where somebody had said before, hey, listen, China may be a real threat to us. From what they heard was that somebody had leaked information about our top secret stuff. Now, of course, China copied it, right? And whatever. And I'm going, okay, so why are they a threat to us? If they got it from us, then we already have the technology. So why are we afraid of them? So my thing is, do you not think we have weapons that can shoot that thing out of space? Or come on. Just because, here's the thing too, guys, you gotta remember this. People go, well, those things are super fast, they can see this. I know, but you have satellites out there. Let's suppose right here the Earth is turning, and right here's the United States, and right now China's over here, right? You see something fire up. We're gonna see that before it even comes up and goes back down to our United States. Think about this. And something that's that far away, I don't care how fast it can fly, it's still going to be moving very slow at a real long distance. Now, close, of course, it's gone. But from way in a distance, hundreds or maybe thousands of miles away, it's going to be like, you're going to see it flying pretty quick, but you can see it. So don't think for a moment we cannot see this thing flying around. They may say, well, we have a real issue here. Don't get me wrong, China should be kept an eye on. Absolutely. That's something you don't just, turn your back on. But it's not like we don't have technology as well. And if they, quote unquote, stole our information, that means we already have it ourselves. So what do? Improve on it. Make it faster, make it better. So I think it's comical in some sense that people say that. It's like, listen, I can almost promise you we get the technology just because we don't talk about it. I mean, look at the jets they got now. They got everything. They almost have it to the point where you can put on a hat and control these fighter planes. They're so sophisticated now, it's not even funny. It's ungodly. And that's just the fighter jets that are open to the public, meaning they know about them. But there's a lot more secret, the TRB-3, and that's probably old technology. It's probably junk by now. Just like the SR-71, when it was probably, the plans were made, like technical and everything else were made back in the 40s, and when it was made in the 50s. Wasn't, declassified until what, the late 80s? Almost 90s? So, there you go. These things, we probably have technology that would blow you away. You'd never even think in a million years that we'd have something like that. That's why I don't really fear them too much. I'm not saying you should turn your back, because that doesn't mean anything. They could do something real sneaky. Yeah, I mean, you got a point, Dog Greek. You said, Vax works, then it doesn't. Then it's a failure, a.k.a. fake. It doesn't do anything, does it? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying at the very beginning, right? Where they said, oh, yeah, this is the answer to all. It's it. So people ran out and said, oh, God, I got to get this because, man, I don't want that. And I don't blame them to a certain degree because they were saying that people are dying left and right. And of course, it wasn't months upon months later, where I was actually surprised the CDC came out and showed a graph. And like I said, it said like 30% of everybody on the planet that had gotten it, 30% of them were in hospice. Then they had the ones that were actual colds and flu. Then they had this broken down. Then they had, I can't find the chart anymore, but they had it where they had it like this is an actual cold, this is a flu, and I thought maybe the flu and the cold went down to Fiji for vacation. Because remember everybody's saying, how come you never hear nothing about, regular colds? Or you don't hear anything about, like I said, flus. You don't hear anything about it. So I used to joke about it. I said, well, they're on vacation in Fiji. But then they broke it down and said, imagine that. So now, it wasn't as many numbers as you think there was. Every time you went into the hospital with a flu, bad cold, it was automatically, if they said it was COVID, they wrote it down, they got a kickback from the government. So everyone that comes in, you got COVID. It's as simple as that. So you got it. The hospital got a huge kickback from each person. There you go. It's all about this, baby. It's all about making money. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, exactly, Doggery. Then. Yep, exactly. Makes them cocky. You're spot on. Long Island, New York. I'm about to get a booster shot. Screw it. I used to sniff cocaine. I'll probably be fine. Oh, that's good. I like that. Scientific search for extraterrestrials. What's going on? He said, I'd rather live to 100 without luxuries than dying at 70 with luxuries. True. Because if you think about it, what's luxuries anyway? It's just objects. You know what I mean? Where those will come and go. You can literally, you'd want to live longer and be able to go places and see things and around the world. And Whitebeard's Sky Daddy said, yep. Does it keep you from getting sick? Don't keep you from carrying it. Pretty much. What's the point of it? And I keep hearing the same tired excuse. Well, you won't get COVID as bad. Really? Because I've never heard anybody say that. People say, I got it again. Now, it might have maybe it was kind of a weaker strain that you got. Or you didn't quite get the whole thing and you just got it and your body was able to fight some of it off. And so it wasn't as bad. That doesn't mean it's because of the COVID. It wasn't because of the jab. Herb Green, he said, how many millions of people disappear every year? If Elon is talking about bringing billionaires to Mars, who's building it out for them before they get there? Robots. Yeah, they're going to do it with robots. They're actually going to be either a prefab rather, or they're going to have, and then they're going to have the robots build it, or it's going to be 3D printing. That was the plan anyway. Now, how much it's going to change, and if it has, I don't know. But that's what they said. Dog Creek Customer said, what got me is they were classifying everything as the China virus in the hospitals. That's what broke my credibility. Yeah, exactly. It's bullshit. It's wrong. Terry Kelly, good question. Thank you very much for your support, sir. I do believe it. I do appreciate it. Your question was, why is the moon moving away from the Earth about 1 inch a year? Yeah, I heard it's like a half an inch to an inch, right? But at that point, you're splitting hairs. But that's what they say. I don't know why, but that's what they say. Now, of course, it's going to take, everybody here will be compost and everything by then. But it'll be probably a good couple hundred years before you even see anything that's going to make any bearing on the planet. But the thing is, if that was true about the ancient civilizations where they said there was a time before the moon, then the planet was fine all that time, right? Still functioned. So I don't know how much it would change if it was to disappear tomorrow. Now, they say it works the tides and everything else, and it can have an effect on you as well because you're, 70% water. But the thing is, how much would it change you, or how much would it change the environment? That, I don't know. I have no idea. But again, Terry, thank you very much for the super chat. James Cragen said, Chris, the only thing the fake poison vaccine protects is the pharmaceutical industry from court case. Let's be honest here tonight, man. Let's stop being told what to do. Yeah, I agree, because here's the thing. It's all about big money. It's big pharma. That's what it's always been, you know. And like I said, when a company comes out and says, by the way, now I don't know if anybody ever had to do this, but they made it clear, you heard it on the news more than once, they will not be responsible if something inadvertently happens to you or you die. So it's not on us. Right off the bat, I distrusted them. I'm good. Now, they will say, well, their argument is, I know, but you can get a flu shot and die from that. I guess you could. But like a friend of mine said to me, one of the co-workers, he said, yeah, but here's the thing. The flu shot's been around how many years? So it's been tested and it's good. Whereas this thing came out, hardly any trials, and then it's like everybody jab it in their arm. It was weak at best. It doesn't work. It failed. Steve Gonerey said 5 inches a year. See, I didn't hear that. I heard like a half an inch to an inch. But regardless, it is moving away, right? So, yeah. Bush Corey, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. He said, I want to plant a potato on Mars. Haha, I think it will grow. It will. It actually will grow. Again, they've done this back in the day when they had the Viking lander, where they talked about that. Where it took it took samples of the soil, and we got the information back, and it had the molecular structure or what it was made of, that soil. And all we did was add ash from a volcano, put it on there, mixed it in, and it grew better than anything on Earth. At least that's what they said, quote unquote. So it grew incredibly well. Well, what do plants need to live? Carbon, things of that sort. They also have plenty of water on there. Now, they claim all of it's brine. I don't believe that's the case. I don't think they're all salt water, like the one underground next to the South Pole. There's one that's supposed to be like a mile wide, and it's only so deep underneath in a cavern type thing, which the satellites have picked that up, ground penetrating radar. So I don't think that's the case. I think that I think things will grow there. I actually think there's organics there now. I think there's plants and insects and stuff flying around. We've seen that in photos where you see like a motion blur go by a camera. You just see like something in the sky has got a little motion blur, several things going in different directions. Now they go, well, people go, nah, that's just, little grains of sand like microns big, if that's the case, why isn't there a boatload of them in front of the camera? Why is it like 2 or 3? Why isn't there much more? Let me guess, if those are the lightest ones, they're the only ones flying, and there's only 3 lightest granulars of sand? Come on, Look at this, said, if you could, well, the question was, if you could go to Mars and settle and be basically the Mayflower from Mars in hopes to terraform it one day, would you do it and be the first colonist? Why not? Sure. I'd go. Because I know what I'd find there. You know what I mean? Because something tells me that you can live there, meaning maybe with some breathing apparatus if the air's that thin. And, of course, you have to worry about it. Chances are they'll build where there is a magnetic field, because it's not all over Mars, it's just sporadic. They'll build in that area to try to protect you from the sun or the radiation from the sun. And good chances, if the structures are big enough for us to be in, we'll just use the structures that are there. And if not, then we'll go ahead and make our own. And then, of course, we'll be there exploring everything that's ever been put on Mars, or whether the civilization was there, and they'll go through everything themselves. So, sure, I'd do it. Oliver Klein, F off, I'm social distancing. Oh, I love it. That's it, we're done. 6 feet apart. Wait a minute. Well, we are. Eric, you said, we learned that we had just lost our family doctor today. She refused to get or advised a shot. Really? But see, it makes you wonder, though, did she have complications to begin with? Because that's what they say. Most times if people have, especially the younger people, they say, well, not just young, but older as well, that obesity plays a lot. And even if she wasn't obese, you have to, there might have been other underlying situations. But people have died, right, unvaccinated, that have died from it. There's no doubt. But so on people that are vaccinated. So there's an argument back and forth. I say, to hell with the argument and be on the opposition here, I say it was a failure from the word go. And again, false, case of, or just false feeling of security, and you don't have that. Again, people are going around going, yeah, I got this thing now, baby, I'm good. And they're not. That's what's sad. When you have your own immunity, you're a lot more protected than the jab. That's a fact. They said at least just as good, if not better. And I've heard many doctors say better, much better. So they're starting to see more vaccinated people in the hospital than unvaccinated. Why is that? Because people who are unvaccinated can still get it and make it with no problem. My wife had it, my son had it. Very mild cases, no problem. I was in there with double pneumonia. And I'm the one that probably the healthiest. I eat the healthiest and everything else. But it also paid off because I got through it. So, I didn't have to be put on a ventilator. I didn't have to be put on any weird stuff or like that. And of course, I played a big part in this. I did everything I could to get my breathing back to normal, so on and so forth. So I'm on the fence right here about it's really not on the fence. I go right up the center and I go, it was trash. Vaccines are trash. So the people who are saying that, listen, I'm vaccinated, the people who are really thought they were protected say, I can't get it. What happens when they get it? They're so let down. And, if you end up in the ICU to boot, you're going to go, I've been totally let down here. It's a total failure. Maybe taking off? Somebody just said that. He said, I'm taking off here. It's quite late. Good night, everybody. Sleep well and stay safe. Good night. All right, Mimi. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And, have yourself a good weekend there as usual. And stay safe with you and the fam. Pat Owen, you said there's no vegetation that I've seen on Mars, though. Yeah, that we know of. Now, we did see, there's a couple of videos I did where it looked like a stick or something sticking out of the ground, or things that look like growth, right? Now, obviously, we never seen anything like an actual plant. But there's one, like I said, it was sticking out and it kind of looked that way, right? But the fudging and the manipulation that's going on, I guarantee they're covering up stuff. Grass, whatever the heck it may be, they're covering that stuff up. You can almost guarantee it. If you're finding this stuff on the planet that we found, and I'm talking about stuff that's not natural, then there's probably life there. If you have insects flying around, they're going to be eating off of something. You've got, let's see, you got methane, or methane, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And it's right around the warmest seasons on Mars, like it is here. You get a lot more plant growth. So therefore, they believe that may be an issue. Well, they're not saying that, but they're saying, some people are saying that's what I believe is going on. You have growth during the summer seasons, and you're going to see more methane and whatever else. Of course, it could be just microbial life eating off, their food, what they eat, so on and so forth. So there's some kind of life on that planet. There's no doubt in my mind. And, like I said, when you got insects, what look like insects on there, it doesn't surprise me. Carmine, he said, apparently plants need phosphorus to grow. Guess what we are now being told that there is a shortage of? Yep, phosphorus. Maybe Mars has an abundance of phosphorus? Could very well be. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are not really being forthcoming, right? They're not telling us the truth. All right, here's the rover I was telling you guys. Meet the very first rover to land on Mars. It didn't get anywhere, but the Soviets put a robotic rover on Mars in 1971. I said 73 earlier. But this is the prop, or the PROP-M. Now, this one here walked like on skis. It would literally walk like this. And so it was the lander that once it landed, it opened up, and for like 19 seconds, it gathered some information, and it just died. They're not sure what happened. I don't know what happened, but you can see it right here. And I think there's like an illustration or some kind of short step thing here. It shows. That's not it. I don't know if it's going to show it here. May not be on this particular one. Oh yeah, quantum computers. This one's actually a good video. How it says from Moon rover to Mars rover. You guys will get the link to this whole page. Check that video when you get a chance. I can't because I'll get a copyright strike. But they show like different versions of this rover that they wanted to make, and then they were finding that these things were getting caught with wheels. They were getting caught in some aspects. So this little robot was basically tethered but with a power cord, and it would walk around. And I think this thing was only supposed to use like a radar image or radar imagery. I'm not exactly sure. They said the way the Prop M was intended to work was that after landing, a signal from the Earth would instruct the Mars 3 lander to place the rover on the surface with a robotic arm like this. And of course, it would just take the thing out and just kind of set it down on the surface. And here's a picture of the arm in action on a mock-up. Let me go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. You can see right there the arm coming out. And of course, you can see the guy's got his hand on the little rover. Let me put that right there. Once the rover was on the ground, it moved using 2 rotating skis or skids. It was autonomous, a necessity because of the time delay between Earth and Mars, and it used two very simple impact bars on the front to, remember like the old toys, if it moved one, it hit the wall, it would bounce off. Well, that's kind of what it would do. It literally had like little bumpers and would cause the thing to go in reverse. It would actually back itself up and then turn and then go another direction. It says if it ran into something, it would back up and turn itself. Every 1.5 meters, the rover was supposed to stop and take a measurement, and the max range, limit by the tether, was about 15 meters. The idea was that the rover would wander around in front of the lander in view of the Mars 3 cameras sending back measurements. Simple, adaptable, and robust. Sadly, the Prop M never got a chance to do anything, or do any exploring, I'm sorry. The Mars 3 lander separated from its spacecraft on December 2nd, 1971, and entered the Martian atmosphere. After aerobraking with the heat shield, the lander deployed a parachute to slow itself down, and then within range of ground fired its retro rockets and made a successful landing on the surface, impacting the ground at about 20 meters per second and cushioning itself with shock-absorbing foam. It says 4 pedals on the top of the capsule. Again, like I said, it opened up, and the lander began to transmit data. It said 90 seconds after landing, but all contact was lost about 20 seconds later. That's what I was saying. It said 19 before, but 20, same thing. Before the Prop M rover had a chance to deploy. It's thought that maybe the lander was damaged on descent by a massive dust storm that was raging on Mars at the time, but it's also possible that the orbiter, which was acting as a communications relay, was the problem. Or there's always the angry Martian hypothesis. You notice how they make jokes about that, right? We'll never know exactly what happens, they put, at least not until one of the current rovers makes it to the Mars 3 landing site. That would be pretty interesting if they did that. But I'm sure they've already taken a look at that real close and found, right? So if you want to see the Prop M rover for yourself, there's one on display at the museum at St. Petersburg. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm trying to remember, I thought they had, and apparently this isn't the same page. Now I don't know if you guys have seen this, as Skywatcher recorded a mothership flying past the moon. Of course, this was in April 21st, 2021. I thought this was pretty interesting. Now, a lot of people say it's a hoax, it's garbage, this, that, and the other. And it could very well be. Now, I'm going to only be able to show like a little bit at a time because you don't want copyright strike. But we're not going to play any of the sound. But you can see that right there. What I find interesting about this, guys, this video is this. It's not like the quote-unquote UFOs. It looks like the 3 smaller ones are like a mothership, right? It's not like they're in focus and the moon is not. They look like the same exact focus on here. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing, but that's what it looks like. Pete's Vlog said, YouTube didn't notify me. That ain't good. Dan White, you said, greetings from Arkansas. Glad to be part of real people doing valuable work with each other. Anywho, I'm new to everyone and excited to be here. Thank you. God is above all. Well, I appreciate that, Dan, and thanks for being here. I've seen you in the comment section before. That's awesome. Ricardo, I always wanted to know why Americans do the date as month. That's the way we've always done it. Well, we're just backwards. You know how that goes. Ricardo, that's swamp gas. But the funny thing about it, now I'm going to go ahead and move this up here because they actually zoom in a hair bit. You can see that there. But you can see the thing. Now, they're the same focus. It doesn't look like it is, like, in other words, sometimes they would look clearer and the moon wouldn't, or vice versa. Then you go, eh. But it looks to be the same kind of out of focus kind of crap. Now, is it possible they did that? They had a clearer photo of the moon and of these objects, and they put these objects in and then just kind of made it look like it's blurry and, you know, downgraded the quality of the video. It's a good possibility. But who's to say it's not 100% real? I don't know. But you can see that. Let's get them. You can see that right there. Let's get. But you can see them actually duck behind the planet. I was going to say behind the planet. Behind the moon. You can see them going back. Now, what do you guys think of that? Do you guys think that's the real deal? You think it's Al Faco? Or what do you guys think? The front one looks like it has a trail behind it. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's out of focus just like the moon is, which I'm kind of curious because if you see the moon, in other words, if this person is taking it with their own telescope, you think they get a better quality view of that, unless this is all zoomed in to begin with, which would kind of distort it, but it still should be clearer than that, which means these UFOs, quote unquote, would be clear as well. And I'm not really seeing that. So I don't know. Leslie Ann Warren, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Hope you're doing well. You say, hey, Chris, and all. Ricardo, yeah. Also sometimes called transient lunar phenomenon. Eric Gower says, TR3B Astra. Well, I mean, there's like 4 of them total, right? Because it's got like 3 smaller ones. Like they're in a triangular like formation, like one in the front, one on each side, and of course you got the larger object. Is it fake? Here's the weird thing. We've seen so many fakes on YouTube that when you see a real one, you kind of like doubt it right off the bat, right? Now, is it possible this one is? Some people are saying, oh, it's right here. Some speculate that this was the government's enigmatic Space Force in operation. Others, however, said it's a video was a hoax. One said they actually landed at one of these bases on the side of the moon that isn't visible from Earth. Most possibly alien ship, said another. But who knows, right? Skywatch International, an amateur skywatcher, posted a video to YouTube. UFO Mania, a well-known conspiracy channel, has now reposted it. In the video summary they wrote, it seems to be a fleet of UFOs, a mothership accompanied by many smaller. I'm seeing 3. I'm not seeing many. I'm seeing a few. But either way, I mean, what do you guys think of that? Does that look legit or does that look bogus? I mean, like I said, everything's out of focus, which tells me right off the bat, if you got a telescope, like I said, that can get that close into the moon, you think it'd be a lot clearer. But maybe it's past its focal point as far as being clear on that on the telescope itself, and that it's become out of focus or distorted. But the objects are the same distorted looking view as the moon. So I don't know. Renee V said, don't know, we need an expert. That's true. Pat Owen, you said that vid looks real enough. It kind of does. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on the fence because you know as well as I do, folks, this could be like hoax to the max, right? So I don't really know. I'm looking at that thing and I'm going, You can see him going past there and going behind them. I don't know. like I said, it's so badly out of focus that it's hard to tell what it is, right? I don't know. But it's interesting regardless, right? Dog Creek Customs, you said, I saw a video about a guy that used to work for NASA and he was told to airbrush stuff out and he was doing it but thinking the public should know. Oh yeah, there's more than one person that have seen this where they'd walk in and go, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're just airbrushing these things out. And there was literally objects right there in the picture. So, you know, it's like, you know, people have been noticing this, and people that work for NASA, people who knew friends that work with NASA, literally were saying the same thing. It's like they're literally taking these things right out of the photo. They used to use an acetate, and they'd put it over the actual real photo, and of course they'd put like, you know, airbrush this, marker that, do all kinds of stuff they need to do it. Then they'd just take a photo of that overlay, and that was the photo to the public. That's pretty much what that came out to be. Eric, you said legit, out of focus TR3B Astra bagged. Let me see, what did that say? He said that there are structures on them. Oh yeah, absolutely, I've seen those. Just checking out these other moon photos from NASA and the LROC. Definitely 100%. I know you asked Frack, you know, what you thought. He said, if it is real, then those ships are massive. Oh yeah, they'd have to be pretty darn, especially the mothership one, right? It looks pretty darn massive. We need an expert. Phone Elizondo. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, you're the go-to guy. Yep. Yeah, even the government said they're dumb shits and they had to call you. Yeah. So, you know, what's the deal with this thing? Is this real or? Oh, you put it out in space. Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you already warn the government? Yeah. Good thinking. What? Leslie Ann Warren, you said no Grays, ETs, Chris, will have evidence bear my challenges. Well, the thing is, it's like, you know, with all the stuff going on, like I said, I don't even have to know if these things, these particular ones are real or fake. We know that there's other, you know, species or whatever they are living in our neighborhood, so to speak, our solar system, from what we've seen on the moon and planets and, you know, bodies in our solar system. We know that these things were there. Now, whether there's still life on them or not, that's a whole different ballgame. Now, I think there's something still going on in the moon, to be honest with you guys. Now, whether it's us or them or both, I don't know. Something's going on. Carmine, you said if the government admits that there are UAPs in our airspace, then there must be UAPs in outer space too. So the moon film is as believable as a tic-tac in theory. Well, true. And again, it's like I'm 50-50 on the fence. It would not surprise me if these things are out there because, like I said, what we've seen on the moon and Mars, you know, if they showed up tomorrow literally on the White House lawn, I'd be like, okay, that's cool. Let me go down there and check it out. I mean, because knowing that these things are on other planets and moons, then clearly we're not alone. And if we didn't put it there, again, we're not alone. So it doesn't surprise me that these things would be out there. David Voight said he just took a Thanksgiving break, secure team. It's on his Twitter today. He's not missing. Oh, God, not that it's old crap again, is it? He went missing. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. People need to come together. Dog Creek customer, he said the public should demand for the truth. And when I say demand, that means show up in person. Yeah. way down here in the bottom here. Let's see. This is right here at home. The head of the ancient Egyptian Sphinx is an entrance to the lost city. They've covered the entrance recently. You know, this one's funky. I love this thing here because it actually shows, this thing does, it looks weird in the face. The original Sphinx, if you look at this thing, look at the face on that. It looks totally different. The headdress or whatever it is totally different. Yeah, whatever. And then when you go down here, look at it, totally different. They took that off. Even the mouth and everything, the eyes and everything look kind of weird too, compared to what that looks like. See that? The sides don't look like they stick out that far. Of course, this could have been, what do you call it? Erosion and stuff like that. And of course, they try to put a lot of that back and rebuild it, so to speak, reconstruct. See that? But I think that's really interesting. That was like one of the very first photos of the Sphinx. And of course, they show this completely unburied now, because you can see the difference between that there. It's like basically up to the bust of the damn thing, and now all of a sudden it's got paws and everything else. But there's actually a secret room in front. It's actually where the legs are out in front. There's actually goes down there. There's a room there. You can see the way they've got it right here, where they believe what's going on here. Coming down, and there's actually like rooms down in there. It's pretty cool. See right here? This is what they're showing here. It's like the Trojan horse, only it doesn't move. I see the difference in the face. That's just weird. Again, this was defaced by people as well as weathering. But just that alone, it just looks weird as heck. But you can see this opening here, some kind of weird thing on its head, and all of a sudden it's completely gone. Really wild. It's here. Thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. You guys are all like long-time subscribers and supporters. You guys are awesome. Much love to all of you guys out there. That's just great. Move this thing over backward. Reach this thing. Hold on. There we go. Mike Hoover, what's going on? He said, what's up, everyone? Hey, Chris, brother. What's going on, Mike? Good to see you in there. Yeah, I did it. Well, you know, we know between Antarctica, we know about a lot of these stuff here on our own planet, like in Egypt and stuff like that. They think that the Sphinx is far older than the actual pyramid itself. Just really, really weird stuff. Cool, weird stuff, that is. Ooh, I didn't see this one. NASA received an SOS call from another galaxy. I think we talked about this one before. NASA intercepted a message from ancient civilization from another galaxy back in January 1998, but only managed to actually translate and decode it in 2011, thanks to some of the best minds of our generation. The message was believed to be over 80,000 years old, and it was said to be coming from even farther than the Andromeda Galaxy. But what really set this apart from other such messages is the fact that it does, in fact, ask for help. That's what I think I said before, where they were saying that we need somebody's help, and, you know, of course they think by now, if it's that far away, and it took, what did it say, from 80,000 years? Yeah. 80,000 years old, clearly they're gone a long time ago, if it's true. According to Viktor Golovkov, excuse me, the leader of the United Nations research team from the state-operated observatory, according, hold on, let me do this, be a lot better. Trying to actually see this. I'm doing this, I'm like reaching over just trying to see the thing. And sometimes if you're off the side of the screen, words look a little blurred out. But anyway, around state-operated observatory around 50 miles northwest of Moscow. The message is definitely a plea for help, but he wouldn't get into the message, avoiding any cameras he could. He mentioned that it wasn't a natural phenomenon, that they definitely had something to do with it, since in the message they clearly take the response. See, this was the one I was talking about before. Yeah, they said, you know, it's basically saying, or it sounded like they're saying we caused this, and that they were, you know, they're asking for help. He concluded by saying that not only was this planet that was ravaged most likely by nuclear weapons such as our own, but that but that at the same time these aliens probably weren't any more advanced than we are currently. He did say that they were definitely around our level, but there was a certain reason as to why they couldn't leave their planet, which is and most likely the fact that they weren't evolved enough to do so yet. But keep in mind though, if it's 80,000 years ago, that was back then and they were just like we are today. That's what he's thinking anyway, of course. There's no way to know that. That's all pure speculation. But the thing is, if they were like us now, then think about it. 80,000 years ago, and if they were like we are today, now this says in 2020, but this story's old. Even if it was back in the 90s, the point is it's like 80,000 years ago. So even if some of the people made it through the catastrophic, whatever they did to their planet, then maybe they're still alive there. What's funny about it though, it said nuclear. How do we know it wasn't Mars and they're just making it sound like it was far off? Think about that. Now, I don't believe what happened on Mars was 80,000 years ago. I don't think it's even the 10th of that. I don't even think it was anything like that. But the thing is, I find it interesting how they said it kind of sounds like Mars, where they were actually talking about that. Because remember they had that remote viewer where they talked to that guy. They actually gave him coordinates. So he wants you to go to this coordinate, and of course the guy went into his deep trance, whatever he does, and he's looking at it and he says, okay. He sees these tall, mountains on each side. And he says, yeah, okay, I see this and I see that. Then he's talking about how, then they tell him to move to another coordinates, and he says, I see structures, very tall structures, but no roofs on them. There's no roofs. He says, it's really weird. It just doesn't make sense. He says, wait a minute. And then he said he sees people, and that it looked like they were like all warriors and stuff like that. And he says, I don't think they can see me. So one of them, he walks up to them, and actually they do see him, and he says, what's wrong? He says, well, we sent a team of people, of our own people, to find another place to live because we basically destroyed ourselves. So it's kind of weird, but then they told him after, by the way, that was Mars kind of thing. He was like, what? Because he's like, the guy kept saying, yeah, I'm seeing what looks like, I don't know, very, very tall valleys. And then he's saying he's seeing these tall, that's once he moved to these other coordinates. So I'm seeing these very tall structures, and these beings are pretty darn tall too. Oh my God. And then he's going on and on and on, and he's saying, yeah, these people were like, they knew they were in a catastrophic event, but this was Mars, and yet, doesn't that sound a lot like it? I wonder. Maybe they're just saying that, and it had anything to do with past Andromeda or anything of that sort. Maybe it was Mars itself. Yep, Mike Ruby says swan, indigo swan. Yeah, Pat, yep, there's a Tesla in the Mars orbit. I don't know if it's still there right now, but yeah. Yep. Is that actually orange pea? Is that what it says? Hi, Chris. Hi, chat. What's going on, man? Yeah, there you go. Long Island, New York. It's pretty funny how he's coming out with that, huh? He said, bringing my Tesla Pi phone to Mars. There you go. Remember that? He said he's coming out with his new phone. It's going to be called Pi. So that ought to be pretty interesting. And it's supposed to be a really, really good phone. So why not, right? John St. Pierre, what's going on? Is sci-fi being canceled for alien misconceptions, especially race relations? It's hard to, it's hard to tell. Mercado, he said, was alternative 3 real? I don't know. That's a really good question. I was thinking the very same thing, right? Eric Gower said the astral projection is cool. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a remote viewing type thing too, which I thought was really interesting. And I had this on I think I showed you guys the papers where they showed it on the live feed at one time, where the guy was actually talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, wow, this is really cool. And I don't know if they noticed me, but these people, it was just really weird, cool story. But it's just kind of weird how this article tells the story. Nuclear, people were trying to find their way out, or they were asking for help, and so on and so forth. But they don't want you to think it was in this solar system. Have you ever noticed that? Nothing could ever live in our solar system. It's way out there. Clearly it wouldn't be ours because we looked at everything in our solar system and we can't find anything of any civilization living on any planet or moon, so clearly it's not here. Come on. They want you to always believe out there, out there, out there, which I think is bull. Yeah, Pete, yeah. Pete's Vlog says crazy stuff. Absolutely. Look at this. You said Star Trek, The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space are good guides on dealing with galactic entities and complex problems with moral. Yeah, pretty much. It's almost like, you know, even though it's sci-fi, it's like it's got a lot to do with reality. Yeah. Now, this is the guy here. This is back home, but he's talking about Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett just now on the floor of the House. I do not trust AOIS MSG. Sounds like a drug. I do not think it'll be transparent with lawmakers or the public about its findings. Our citizens, I can't speak with the shit tonight. Our citizens and country can handle the truth, Mr. Speaker. But I think I can show this because I don't believe that this is... Now, before it kept saying the video was removed, but yet I was able to get out. See, it just said it right now. This tweet has been removed. So, redo it. And I should show back up.
Last summer's UFO report, Mr. Speaker, from the Director of National Intelligence was bogus. The report raised more...
See? Now, I think if I kept the video small, I don't think it did it. But I had to do this several times in order to watch it.
Last summer's UFO report, Mr. Speaker, from the Director of National Intelligence was bogus. The report raised more questions than answers about unidentified objects in the skies. It stunk of a government cover-up, Mr. Speaker. Now the Pentagon is starting a new office to collect information on these unidentified objects. The office is called the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. I don't know where they came up with that name. I'm sure they paid somebody a lot of money to come up with that. I do not trust this new office, Mr. Speaker. I don't think it'll be transparent with lawmakers or the public about its findings. This is a national security issue. Congress needs to know what is going on so we can respond accordingly. Today, I'm requesting the leaders of this new office bring members of Congress on their bring them in on their UFO findings. This is a matter of great public interest and has been for a very long time to a lot of Americans. Our government should not hide the truth from us for another second. If this new office is to be held accountable, our country will get more reports like the one that came out last summer, or worse, they will be silent and hope we all just forget about the phenomena. We do not need to fear these airborne and unidentified objects. They would have shown themselves to be dangerous a long time ago by now if they were a threat. Our citizens and country can handle the truth, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the remainder of my time.
But see, I said the same thing. If they were a threat, a long time ago, they would have done something about it. And they've known about this for some time. And what's the chances of this new program, the AOISMSG, don't you get that in food? But you know they're not going to be transparent. They haven't been transparent for how long? Now suddenly, oh, don't worry, we'll be transparent. Yeah. Look at this, said up and down is actually right left. There is no up and down, really. It's, it's ridiculous, the games that they play, right? Excuse me. David Voight said the government been covering up UFOs since the late 1860s. Oh, yeah. For as long as they knew that they were there, right? And the only way you could get around that is if you yourself seen them. So, yeah, I don't trust these people as far as I can throw them. And you know they're not going to come out and say, hey, yeah, by the way, we got all kinds of information about this. Just like Lou would tell you all the time. He was asked, so what other information do you have? He says, oh, I've got a video here that would make the Nimitz one and all these Tic Tacs look like crap. Oh, can you tell us one? It's not declassified yet. All right, you're the man. You're the man. So they need Lou's information, but yet the Pentagon and the DOD and all that has all this information. So they know what they're dealing with, but they're going to ask Lou to help them out. Again, mouthpiece. That's all he is. John St. Pierre said, PSYOPs are hired officials for disinformation and division in most other countries. It's when PSYOPs use it on its own people becomes a problem. That's true. And Leslie and Warren, you said, why aren't they talking about the hole in ozone? Well, I think you're saying the Antarctic in the 1800s and 1900s. I'm sorry, 80s and 90s, etc. Don't believe in global warming. Don't believe in global warming. I believe weather Mars. Well, they had the ozone there was a hole in it, remember? But I guess, depending on how much of the pollutants they let out, and some of them they stopped doing, of course we're still polluting the air, you know that. But depending on how much, like aerosols, all of these kind of things that could contribute to that, it's basically sealed itself up. Now, I don't know if they said it's opening again. I think I heard something about that recently. But, if anything, it's going to be just more radiation come through. So you will get a heating through that area if it's in fact true. In other words, you see this hole in the ozone. It'll definitely heat up the planet. But that doesn't mean because the sun's gotten hotter. It just means because there's something wrong with our planet. But like I said before, every 11 years the sun becomes the most active, and we're already on the uptick as far as going to that 11 years. So every planet, again, is now warming in the solar system. It is not just a global warming thing. We are contributing this much. As far as the actual warming of the planet, that's the sun. That's pretty much it. Disclosure TV said it's not likely they are a threat, but could answer the questions to our existence, and that's why they are hiding it. That could be. Could very well be. In fact, I believe that's true. I mean, it's kind of like how many like Sanskrit or any kind of writings from like Egypt, like the secret areas where they had their own writings, they were hidden, right? They won't let you see it. Like the Vatican hides a lot of stuff in their library, right? So I think the real truth to our existence, they have it. They're just not letting us know. So I definitely concur with what you're saying. And I don't see them as a threat either. Even if I see them flying over my house, I'd be like, okay. So I'm sure it didn't come directly out of space to the top of my house. So I had them been traveling along. So if it's evil and they're just mean and nasty little aliens, they would have just bombed everything as they were going along, right? Or blew up stuff. That's why I don't believe in that. I don't give into that crap. I think it's garbage. That's why I think it's like almost like a fake alien invasion right now. Look at this, said they don't want to give us knowledge, being infants still. Well, that's what they believe. They think people can't handle the truth when I believe that they can. Mike Hoovey said when the planet was rocked, Mars was scarred and the official satellite moon came to Earth right at the time of the flood. Yeah, I mean, they're saying, I'm trying to remember what I was just listening to the other day, too. There's like this video talking about that. And about when the last ice age took over, or we had, there was different civilizations, of course, before the ice age, in the Antarctica and stuff like that. It was lush and green. But there was all kinds of other stuff they were talking about. Really, really interesting. Like I said, I don't think we truly know our past, although we're learning it. It's coming out slowly. This is the Congress of the United States House of Representatives. This is what the guy was just talking about, and you'll get to all of these links, by the way. DOD announces the establishment of the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, and of course that's the AOIMSG, and that's November 23rd, 2021, and you can see this right here. You'll get that as well. Incursions by any airborne object into our SUA pose safety and flight and operation security concerns. Security concern, I don't think that again, that's bogus. I do believe in, however, like these, like maybe flying into a regular plane or something of that sort, interfering with, airports or anything of that sort. That I can tell. But I don't think they're stupid enough to go, hey, They get their little primitive little airplane type things, whatever these little air things are. Let's go fly right in front of one and like see if we can't knock it out of the sky. No, I don't think that that's stupid to do that. However, I think people with, who knows, maybe remember in the past, let's go 5-10 years ago. I'm sure there was drones then, and of course there was drones, but as far as smaller ones, where people could probably fly them over an airport and screw at the airport. That doesn't mean it was aliens, right? Because it doesn't mean it wasn't either. DOD takes reports of incursions by any airborne object, identified or unidentified, very seriously and investigates each one. This decision is the result of planning efforts of collaboration conducted by OUSD, and then of course it says INS, and other DOD elements at the direction of the Deputy Security Hicks to address the challenges associated with accessing USAP or UAPs occurring on or near DOD training ranges and installations highlighted in the DNI preliminary assessment report. So they always have like these 14 different names for just like one, company. In the coming weeks, the department will issue implementing guidance, which will contain further details on the director, organization structure, authorities, and resourcing. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the, again, they can form all of these companies and these think tanks and all this other crap, but are they going to tell the public? How long is it taken for the Pentagon to come out with something? Again, I believe because it's going to come to something really big. In other words, again, we're going to be spacefaring. We're all going to start going out there. Different countries are going to be doing this. At some point, this has to slip out. So again, they're trying to figure out the best way to do the slow disclosure thing without doing it too fast and freaking people out. That's just my assessment of it. I don't know if you guys think differently of that, but yeah. Ricardo said, so the AOIMSG is being formed to make sure that all branches of all government agencies are signing, let me get this thing moved, just move back down here a little bit, signing from the same PRM sheet. Yeah, exactly. They won't show any real investigation or disclosure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll let out a little bit at a time. They're not going to let the whole thing out. If they were to just go, okay, let's just dump it all on the table right now. Just dropped it right there. You know as well as I do, some people, probably a lot of the public would be like freaked out. Because you can't just dump it all at once, right? Let's say there's a lot of important stuff that's being brought out. Like, they're talking about UFOs or large structures on the moon and things that have been here over and over again and still circling our planet or whatever. People are going, oh my God, to hear it all at once, it would freak them out. So let's get them to put like 1 foot in the water at a time. Okay, it's getting a little, all right, then they're not freaking out about it. They seem to be pretty good. Now let's put the other foot in, see how they feel about that. And so yeah. Ufology Shorts. Good night, Chris. Good night, friends. Have a great weekend, everyone. You do the same, Ufology Shorts, and yeah, be safe there, right? Thanks for joining us, by the way. Jason Fiddler said, I made it. Yes, you did. What's going on? Ben Owen, hope my leg don't break walking on the moon. Yeah, that would be bad. Oops. Dan White, he said, unfortunately, the only threat I see is our elected officials we put into office. When are we, the people, going to hold these guys responsible? Yeah. Well, what I like about it is Congress is literally starting to get jerky too, right? They're starting to question these DOD and all of these off branches coming out and everything else, which I think is awesome. I think they need to. I really do think they need to. So that when they do come out with this information, they're going to be held responsible. Listen, you need to just, but here's the thing, they just go, you know what, we'll tell you what we're gonna put out. We're gonna let you know little tidbits at a time. You don't force our hand. That's basically what they're saying. We'll let out what we want to let out. And you never notice when you get the FOIA kind of thing, and they put out these documents, half of it's crossed out, So, I mean, yeah, we'll put it out. You ask for it, we'll give it to you, but it'll be all crossed out and names and different other details you should have known, but we'll just cross it out. You got it. Here's the paper you wanted. William Johnson, what's going on? What's up? Good to see you in there, William. Yeah, pretty much, Noodles. Yep, slow dumps. That's what it comes down to. Mike Nash says, F, I'm late again. How's everyone? We're doing good there, Mike. I hope you're doing well. Wouldn't we all, Pat? He said, I'd like to be a quadrillionaire. That'd be nice. Brian Norton says, just got here too, Mike. You guys have a hall pass? Disclosure TV said, what sucks is disclosure may not come in our lifetime, and I don't want to miss out on something like that. Yeah, me too. I'm like, I'd love to be able to see that before, you know, obviously anybody in here, just everybody's like dead and gone. It's like, oh, they decided to just disclose. It's like, really? I'd love to be able to see the real deal. Science searching for extraterrestrials. Chris, lots of rocks, and stuff on Mars look like reptiles. Either there are lots of natural things on Mars that look like animals, or there are real reptiles and strange beings on Mars. See, like I said before, I don't really see a whole lot of that. Now, there are some rocks that kind of look like that have that weird shape, like a lizard or some kind of weird thing, but I don't really see those. Now, the only thing, the closest I've seen was, like, there's one or two videos that look like some kind of like dead plant, but it's still there. Or I've seen things flying in the air as far as insects, but I don't really see people or any of that sort. Now, some people, their brains are probably wired differently where they see that, right? I just don't seem to see them. Ricardo, you said they won't reveal because they still keeping Kennedy 63 event files classified. Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. They just keep everything they want from the public, which is just ridiculous, right? Some say that he was killed off because he was going to speak about, you know, stuff like that and the space program and probably let the cat out of the bag. And they said, well, let's off him. Now, I don't know how true that was, but that's what they were saying, right? Elaine Millard, you said, wouldn't freak me out if they disclosed a job a lot at once. Oh, so in other words, yeah, if they let the whole thing out. I'd be like, about time, too. I'm fed up with your crumbs of hints. Yeah, pretty much. Instead of just saying, there's a little tiny tidbit here and there, and there's something you can bite on, here you go. It's like, just show the darn thing. Or at least a whole document where it's not crossed out, pictures or whatever not crossed out of it. I've noticed I've seen one that was, it looked like a UFO, but it was so black and white and so piss poor. Oh my God. And it's like, it goes back to like the 1940s. It's like, okay. But if you had it in the 1940s, they've seen a lot more UFOs since then. Mike Ovia said it's already happened. The evil government will never be up front when 99% turns on 1%, and they're effed. Yeah, pretty much. Great for all says, I'm surprised that some of the lesser or rogue countries also keep this UFO secret. Well, I mean, a lot of people say that. It's like, oh, this country would turn on us in a heartbeat if they knew we were lying. That's true in a sense. But what happens, like I said, if you have the regular PR pot of these like space agencies, right? So in other words, you got like ESA, just like NASA. We have the people who are working for NASA, or ESA, depending on how you pronounce it, and these other four-letter space agencies, that they're probably doing their job like they do every day, like everybody else does their job. But then there's like a black ops side to that. So all of these people don't know that. So they can't pass it on to the public. But these people that are in the know and the elite, so to speak, they're the ones that's pulling the ropes there, or they're just doing like a separate thing altogether compared to the rest of the actual NASA or ESA or whatever. So to me, I think it's like different compartments, so to speak, where, like I said, the elites know everything, what they're doing, they're in on it, and then the other ones, not so much, right? I'll have to check that out after, Jonathan. Let me see. I don't know. I might have heard it or not, Jonathan. You said there's the Lazar tape and excerpts from the government Bible, element 115 and S4. Yeah, I think I've seen parts of that. I'm almost positive I did. Sean Joseph 1, he said, totally agree on that slow disclosure plan that appears to be happening. If the whole disclosure came out all at once, it would probably crash the world stock markets for quite a while. Yeah, I think it would bother the average public, right? Now, people like us, we're like inquiring minds. We just want more. You can't get enough of it. So, I mean, unless it out and out, some UFO came out and said, I think I'm just going to destroy this country right here. Just let them know we're here. And just made a crater out of the whole country. Yeah, you'd be freaked out. Yeah. But this has not happened yet. And I don't foresee it ever happening. Unless, of course, we go out there and we piss off another alien race and we stuck our nose where it shouldn't have been. That may be an issue. But, you know, they're most likely so far ahead of us that we wouldn't even, our weapons wouldn't even bother them. They'd probably go, that's so cute. You know, look at the little tiny dart gun he's got. Dog Reed Customs. It's crazy how much stuff that has come out and verified by Big Brother, and the Bible thumpers will fight over a question. I know because I have asked a simple question, and they was ready to throw down. Yeah, I mean, it could get that testy. Yeah, big time, big time. Timothy Cahan, you said they don't want to reveal the goose that laid their golden eggs. Also, we the public are unaware of the golden eggs, like what tech is really available. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, some of these guys have said, you know, anything you could dream up of, it's been done. So, like Star Trek is reality, so on and so forth. Like you said, David Vaught, you said need to know basis. That's what it comes down to. Well, see, I think that's the plan, Ms. Heard. You said U.S. UFO footage has now become mundane and boring. Who is operating these crafts? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, it's almost like they want you to be that way. Like, okay, we've heard about these before. What's the big deal? Kind of thing, right? And like you want to know more now. Like I said, okay, find out who's got these things. Is it in fact another country? Everybody keeps thinking it's China's. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think it's ours. I think it's the United States. Not that China's not capable, because they got technology too, just like a lot of countries. Well, some countries are like really technologically advanced. But I think it's more ours. And they just make it look like, oh my God, this thing's flying. Because how many countries has anybody heard anything in their country about this thing, this Tic Tac flying in your country? Anybody. And if you haven't, then why is it just here in the United States? It's almost like, yeah, it's flying around us. We don't know what's going on. Come on. It's almost like they just want to get people desensitized where, like you said, they're bored. Okay, we've heard this before. Another little UFO, whatever it is. Well, what now? Kind of thing. So it's mundane. So if they were to say, tomorrow, we figured out whose it is, of course, people would be like listening intently, like, okay, who? But they're not going to tell you that. They'll say it again. Yeah, we've seen another UFO, this, that, and they'll never say who it is. Because chances are it's made right here on Earth. Now, unless they actually come out with the real proof and say, we found out this thing, we've seen it go more than once, go into the water, we kept a close eye on it. It's like, let's say it's a lake or wherever it may be. We're into this ocean, and we've been watching it now from space, and it comes and goes in this ocean. So now the next step is, if it's not ours, and it's something that's underground, which wouldn't make any sense, they would have been doing this for years, that's why I think it's something we've made. Because you should have seen this thing a long time ago. Now, they have seen cigar-shaped UFOs, right? We've seen this 1,000 times. Where you see these bigger and smaller ones in the sky. Maybe just a smaller version of that? Compact cigar? Instead of a Tic Tac. I don't know. But it's not like this is all new. We've been seeing this stuff for freaking years, right? There you go. Steve Gardner says, Mars attacks. Archie, what's going on? Salute, what's going on? Dog Creek, you said, I believe Star Trek was based off of this stuff that people knew. Exactly, like Star Wars. George Lucas, same thing, right? Where you've got one of those moons that looks like the Death Star. Leslie Ann Warren, you said, we have Cold War. They are peaceful, Chris. They use their mind, told we're all psychic folk, not just Uri Geller, who made loads of money to spy for Israel. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's supposed to be a lot of people like that, right? That can actually do it. They can see these things and everything else. I don't know. I don't know what to really think, to be honest with you. But I agree with you, totally agree with you as far as being peaceful. I don't think that's I don't think that they're evil in any way, shape, or form either. I think they're, again, if they're so far advanced, they're past all of that, this garbage. The fighting. Pete Vlogs, yes, the Time Machine. I was actually going to watch it again the other day. And even the original. Do you like the original or just the new one? Because I like both of them. Eric Gower says Tic Tac is CIA equals the CIA. Yep. Great for All says all tech is possible. So any one of us could be abducted anytime using this tech. Scary. Well, I mean, if they choose to do that, think about this a minute. That would get people's attention. Now, of course, I'm going to give them an idea, and they're going to do it. That, like you just said, you know, Great for All, you said, you know, they could just abduct somebody. And now, if they pull that kind of crap in a city and abducted somebody, that would make people probably brown themselves. So that would be a different story. Then you get your little scare and your little thing going on here. But you can't tell me that they don't have the technology to keep up one of these things. Again, we've been working with anti-gravitics how long? Back in the 40s. And like I said, I showed you guys where I had like UFOs. I showed like the Nazi ones where you see the UFOs, they look like they're riveted crafts. Then they got better, smoother, more sleeker, so on and so forth. And next you know, we have Tic Tacs running around. We don't even know, like I said, if those are actual just drones. They could be a drone and they could just pilot like that and people going, where does this thing come from? Just to freak people out. Oh, I know, Dog Creek, yeah. He said, I think we... Hold on. I think we do have alien technology, but the Tic Tac flying around Navy jets, then going to their meet point at 60, 80 miles away, but that's secret? Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just, something just doesn't jive. It doesn't add up. Now, again, if it's us, and it's piloted, when I say pilot, I should say remote controlled. I mean, we can fly a drone from the United States to Iraq or anywhere around the world, okay? So if we could make one a lot faster, I don't know about you guys. Like I said, I've seen some regular drones, and I don't mean military, that literally, woof, I mean, they're doing like 150 miles an hour. So now picture something much faster with anti-gravitics. How fast would that thing be? And you just control it, choo, 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 and it just responds. How complicated would that be? Complicated to you and I, because we don't know the science behind it. But if it's anti-gravity, then this thing could just respond like on a dime, man. It's just, you know, how do we know? Sean, you said we did hear about the Tic Tac craft with the U.S. Navy on our news, maybe just the ones here in the UK. Yeah, but I mean, how many other people in other countries have actually seen, meaning physically, have they noticed around their airports about the Tic Tac? I haven't heard anybody. And any other country say, yeah, that thing's been in our country, and it's been flying around our airports too. Or our missile silos or any of that sort. You never hear anything about that. So what's the deal? Think about it. That's why I think it's ours. Les Sweet, what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said in Iceland, some rocks are considered the homes of non-humans. Yeah, that doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to build like us, right? Yep, Dog Greek, quantum physics. That's what it comes down to. Mike Nabby said, I seen a UFO, UAP, yesterday morning, but there's nothing I can do about it. No, but to actually see it is interesting, right? Especially if it's like changing directions and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I think that's really wild, you know. But again, is it ours or out there? That's what it comes down to. There was something on there. Let me see here. No. Okay. Oops. Hate when this page moves like this. I'm trying to move it down, and instead it moves. The whole page does. Yeah, I don't know how true that is. Scientific search for extraterrestrials said David Wilcock said that he will create anti-gravity crafts. They've been there, done all that. Yeah, Pete Ferrer, he said, what do you call it? Roddenberry had access to that 9 that knew the extraterrestrial stuff. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it's almost like they had this like inside kind of thing, right? Where they had this information. And even if they didn't, I mean, for them to come out with the stuff they come out, even, you know, the original Star Trek, when Gene came out with that, and just crazy, crazy stuff. It was way ahead of his time back then. I mean, now you'd go, well, not so much. It's not really a big deal, right? Because it's like, you know, you get the new ones out, and it's like the technology looks so much better, so on and so forth. So, yeah. This thing needs to be charged, I think. Disconnect that. Disconnect that. I think it needs to be charged. Let me get a cord here. I just listened to this thing, and it just went off on me. Time to charge her up. Oh, let me shut that off and let it charge. There we go. That's what I love them about. They got rechargeable batteries. You can just keep them plugged in. Take them on the road and listen to around the world. Yeah, you're right about that, Dog Greg. He said YouTube just doesn't give enough room to type what you want to say. 200 words or less, laugh my ass off. Yeah, I mean, because you like to be sitting there going and like actually say what you want to say, but instead you got to break it down to like 3 or 4 different comments, which is ridiculous. It's just really weird how it does that. Let's see. Long Island, New York. Long live Mars Anomalies and Beyond. Yes. Anybody who hasn't hit that thumbs up, please do so. Let's try to hit closer to 200. What do you guys think? Hit it. I say rock that bad boy. Scientific I'm sorry, I was going to say research. Search for extraterrestrials. Said, Chris, I read that highly sensitive people can experience UFOs a lot more than people who are not sensitive and emotional. Well, that's what they say. It's kind of like when you listen to Stephen Greer, right? Said you basically just like gotta like summon them kind of thing, like. You know, they can sense that you're evil or something like that. Like, in other words, you wouldn't accept them, so to speak. Like, so in other words, you could be sitting there thinking about it, and then they would sense you and come down and say, well, they truly want to know about us and they want to learn. So, you know, we'll make ourselves visible to them, kind of thing. Mike, you said it literally disappeared in front of my eyes. I was stunned. Yeah, I can imagine. You're just standing there, just watching it. Now, did it take off so quickly your eyes couldn't see it, or just off it went? Because sometimes these things can just take off so fast, you'd think it actually, you know, could take off away from you, and it looks like it just vanished. That's what's really crazy, right? Disclosure TV said the U.S. government doesn't usually verify advanced technology until they moved on from that technology and have created an even more classified advanced technology they can use secretly. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like I said, when you talk about the SR-71, then it was a TR-3B. It's probably old junk. It's old now. It's like, because it's like they're going through growing pains as far as building crafts. Like SR-71 was the bomb back then. This thing was like crazy. You could fly high, it was fast, it could do all of that. And then again, it was created when? Blueprints were probably made up in the 40s. This thing was constructed and flying in the 50s. And if I'm not mistaken, there's more than one. And then, then it was declassified in the late 80s or 90s. So it's like, what? So, they have, if they're building that and it's flying around, like I said, the SR-71, flying around or is in service from the 50s to the 80s, that's 30 years, maybe 35. Okay, they were building something much more advanced then. Then it comes out to TR-3B. Then something else. If they're going, yeah, that's cool, but we need more technology in this. Okay, let's build it this way. More invisible to, radar. Better propulsion, maybe ion drive, plasma, whatever it may be, anti-gravitics. Okay, that's better. We can make it fly faster. It's just constantly evolving. So what you're seeing as being declassified is trash. It's old hats. It's garbage. Don't get me wrong, it's high tech, but I'm saying as far as the technology they probably have, it's just moving forward so fast. It's just crazy. I don't know, James. Well, you're sending that one. That one's there. Chris, what's happening with the super chat? It's not letting me send a message, etc. I've been trying for the last 20 minutes. Really? Maybe it's too long? Well, like we were just talking about, it's only like 200 friggin' letters or whatever you can put on there. Scientific search for extraterrestrials. You said, yeah, another thing is that well-read people, smart intellectuals, have more advanced senses. They can see, hear, and sense their reality a lot more than regular people. I think it's like more enlightened. Like, if you know about this stuff, you're going to be a lot more open-minded about it. And you're going to be open, period, right? So I think a lot of this, and they know this, it's kind of like a dog that can sense your fear, right? It's like, they always told you, if a dog barks at you, stand your ground, like look at it and just stand your ground. The second you try to run away, what does it do? Or if it senses your fear, it comes after you. So if you're more enlightened and you're not bothered to the fact that they're there and they're present, then you're like more open-minded. Say, yeah, I'd love to be able to, meet these beings. They don't seem to be aggressive or evil, and they want to attack us. And you keep an open mind to it, and then you're more perceptive to them, and vice versa. So I don't know. I think, truly, I think that can happen. I think that's the deal. There you go, Pat. You said I will either watch Dune with Sting or Avatar tonight. Now, have you seen the latest Dune, Pat? I wasn't, like I said, I actually fell asleep watching it. The thing dragged out so much. I think we were talking about this not long ago, one of the chats. I was literally watching it, I was like just falling asleep. I'm like, my God. And I was like, and I wake up because a more exciting part would come on. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, okay. And then it would just drag out again. I'm like, oh my God. Now, don't get me wrong, the story's cool, but it's just weird how it does that. It's just, I don't know. It just dragged out too much. Yeah, they've stopped that Dog Creek. He says maybe, and I just noticed this myself because I've seen this the first time my live chat that I haven't seen the dislikes. He said might be the wrong place to ask this, but does anyone know what's up with the YouTube? Every video I watch has no dislikes. All likes. Does anyone else have this? Yeah, because they've stopped that. Because I think it's like a lot of people have nothing better to do but just try to give a thumbs down. So people, this is the way I've said this a long time ago. it's kind of like a lot of people, and I've seen this and I've heard this, but a lot of people will read the comments before they even, before they even watch the video, which is ridiculous. Or they see the thumbs down and they go, I'm not watching it, it's trash. And they're not even giving the video a chance. So I don't know, I'm sure there's more than one reason than that. But to me, it just seems like I never look at the comments before that. I always watch the video because I go, whether it's drag racing, building cars, space things, anything to do with space, I'm interested, so I'm going to watch it. Now, after I watch it and then I look down and say people disapprove or they absolutely love it, doesn't matter to me. I'm there to watch the video. So I think they're trying to discourage people from doing that. So you literally give the video a chance. You got to let people look at it. So I think that's the reasoning from it. Because there's no I'm not even seeing dislikes on this right now. I'm just seeing the thumbs up. Which, guys, we're at 180. Let's hit the 200 mark. Nail that bad boy. Alfie Joe Bob, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. That's cool. Get up. The hippo. I do appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Another super chat supporter. Got to love you guys. Let me see. It just jumped on me. Let me go back to it. See if I can find it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's another thing they do, which is really bizarre. This is what I don't get. Now, I don't know if it's just some kind of freaky thing that happens with YouTube where, like you guys are just saying here, I didn't get notified. But they want to encourage people to watch the video, so they're getting rid of the dislike thing. But yet, you're not getting notifications. You'd think they'd make sure the algorithms are set right so people are seeing these. And again, but like I said, if you go to subscribe, make sure that when you go on there and then hit that bell, make sure you tick, it says all. And I know there's like 2 little selections, but put all, because sometimes you will not get it. And like I said, I went round and round with one of the people there on YouTube, because remember we were talking about a while back where I'm literally watching the how many people are watching. It's literally going down. The thumbs up are going down. It was ridiculous. I'm like, what is going on here? So I asked him, I said, why are you censoring in this and this? Oh, we're not doing that. And you're like, like hiding my channel. Oh, sir, we don't do that, blah, 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 blah. I said, listen, you guys are hurting yourself or the people who are advertising, because if people watch my video, because it is monetized, they'll see it, and of course they'll make their money. What's the point of hiding so that people cannot be notified of this? And isn't it hurting the actual people advertising? That kind of doesn't make sense here, does it? Or YouTube itself is not making money off this. So I don't know why they would do such a thing. Terry Kelling, you said can't get the super chat at the moment. It's just weird how that works. Disclosure TV, yeah, you get that. He said, Chris, remember when people used to come on and just to hit the thumbs down button? Yeah, they just go, listen, I've had videos that I'd put out, it wasn't 20 seconds later, boom, thumbs down. I went, that's because people, they're actually, they subscribe to the channel only just a thumbs down. And it's like, what is the point? If I don't like somebody's channel, I'm not going to visit it. It's as simple as that. But it's like, they decided to do away with it, I guess. The funny thing about it, it has the dislike thumb down, but doesn't, why not just get rid of the whole dislike? Get rid of the button at all. Dislike and the thumbs down thing. Why not just get rid of it, period? All right, Steve Gottam, you taking off? You said, got to go late. Take care, Chris, and everyone, until we meet again. All right, Steve, thanks for being here. Thanks for your support, as always, and appreciate you being here. Have a good night, good weekend, all right? We're going to be taking off, too. It's already 8:10. Oh, yeah, 3 hours knocked out. Bam! Let me see here. Yeah, Lionheart Glassworks, you're right. That's why I always make sure people tick that all box when they hit that bell. And some people go, I didn't even realize it was a thing. Meaning they knew the bell was there, they just didn't know to tick all. And so therefore they were like, I don't know. They didn't know. He said, I'm supposed to be notified for all, but sometimes I have to look. Well, that's why I tell people just check back every day. Like I said, because you just don't know. And Usually I try to do it every other day, or try to do it like Monday and Tuesday, but the week was kind of weird anyway. And like I said, Thursday I was supposed to put out a video, but we had one of our pets die and wasn't up to doing any videos or anything like that. So I just worked on like I said, my bench and stuff like that. So, but like I said, the next one coming up is of one of our moons coming out, and it's not our moon; it's a moon in our solar system. And I think you guys will like this. It's kind of this weird look, kind of like Pluto, but even better. Really, really weird, man. David Gossamer, thank you very much. I appreciate you, and thanks for being here. I don't know if you've been, it's been a little bit since you've been here, but you said, yep, Super Chat works. Keep it up, Chris. Appreciate you. Thank you all for your support. I do appreciate it. Kyle Harvey says, I will be hitting the thumbs up. We're at 190, guys. Nail it. James Craig says, Chris and everyone tonight, great hangout again tonight, and great comments from everyone. So everyone take care and be safe, and we will talk soon, my great friends. That's a great way to put it. I echo that same thing. I know, Lionheart Glassworks, off topic. I'm making glass frogs chilling on a glass ice cube tonight. Hope you are smiling. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Miss Here says, good night, Chris and all. Much love to you all. Much love to everyone there, and you and Miss Here, of course. Mike, you said, yep, it's 10 past 1. Time to sleep. Have a good weekend, everyone. Yep, we're going to jump on off this bad whammer jammer, too. And, yep, we are going to do the same thing. I hate when that happens. But, yeah. Well, guys, it's been fun as always. It's always relaxing and just be able to chill. I actually get really excited here to the point I'm going to go, dude, you got to slow down. Because I just love being here with everybody. And it's just cool to be able to sit down here and have conversations. Everybody's talking amongst themselves, too. And with this throwing ideas out and be able to cover some things with you guys. Now, let me ask you a question before we jump off this thing. Would you like to see more of these hangouts, like maybe on a Wednesday? And then we could talk about just about anything? Or do you want to just have a normal one like on Friday? I'm also thinking about doing these earlier on Friday, which we could probably do in, let's see, maybe like maybe from 12 to like 3 or 4. No, maybe 1 to 4 maybe. What do you guys think? Think that's a good time? On a Friday, 1 to 4, well, yeah, 1 to 4 my time. So 1 p.m. Eastern time it'll start. And of course, if most of you folks are in the UK at 6 o'clock, it'll be 7 o'clock when you start, and it'll be end at 10. So you guys can drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think, or you can tell me right here. It's up to you guys. We can do one on Wednesday as well, or we'll just keep it real on, for Friday, and just do it earlier so more people can jump on board. Because I know a lot of people are like, man, it's too late, man. I can't stay up, and and I just got to go to bed. And I'd rather have people here so they can enjoy the chat, and so I'll let that be up to you guys. I know a lot of people would rather have it a little earlier if they could. So let me know. But I want to let everybody go. Everybody be safe. I love you all. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the support you guys give. Any support's great support. And for those who actually do the monetizing thing, I do appreciate you. And the super chat, you guys are awesome. And it definitely helps the channel out. Obviously, people like, I'd like to, some people I know, they've said this to me before, and I'm not sure why, and I'm not going to, knock them, but they say, listen, they just feel weird about doing it in the super chat. This is the reason why I have the other one up there, the PayPal me kind of thing. It says at the top, support the channel. So either way is good. You guys are, either way, it's awesome. And the support, even just the verbal support, is just excellent. It just makes my day either way. But anyway, everybody have a great day. It's what, 8:15 my time, Eastern time. So we'll leave it on to about 8:25, and then we'll shut this thing down. So if you guys want to still converse a little bit, you can. But anyway, be safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace, everyone. Much love.